Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. I'm Zoe Darmay, and I am so glad to welcome you here at Google. I'm a director on our knowledge and information product area. I work specifically on building trusted products and experiences, including those that are used by young people all over the world. So we are so happy that you're here again for the second year. It's become a little tradition. And I want to also say happy Safer Internet Day to everybody. So a big clap for Safer Internet Day. All right, so just to get us started, who here has traveled by subway to get here this morning? Subway. Who has traveled by car? Hopefully not many of you because of congestion pricing. Who has traveled by plane? Wow! Give it up for those who came really far. Thank you so much for being with us. It's a really exciting day, and our friends at Digital4Good have switched it up, and so there's going to be a Shark Tank this year. Which raise your hand if you're a shark. Thank our sharks. And you have a bunch of Google volunteers here as well. So many people wanted to spend time with you. Arden, the blonde lady that you've seen who's kind of running the show, she put out a call for volunteers and got an overwhelming response from Googlers who wanted to be here with you. So Googlers, can you raise your hand? You'll see us probably wearing some badges. Thank you, Googlers. So just grab anybody with a Google badge in case you get lost, you get locked in a corridor, which can happen if you don't have a badge. You come get one of us. We're happy to help you throughout this building, 8510, anytime that you need it. And last pop quiz, who used Google Search today? Wow. Who used Google Maps today? Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for using our amazing products. Who used Google Ads? I know maybe, okay, two up here. Woo! And an ads friend back there in Dale. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing day. You are change makers. We are so proud to have you here. And please, final round of applause for you for showing up. Thank you. All right, MCs, here you go. You don't need it? Oh, okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Noonan, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to our 7th annual Digital4Good and our 2nd here in New York City. I am the annual lead programs and events intern, and this is one of my absolute favorite events of the year because we get to see the tangible impact that our wonderful changemakers are doing in person. And Digital4Good holds such a special place in my heart because of the importance of digital safety in our increasingly digital world.
Thanks, Emily. So I'm Anvita Bardakar. I'm the head of seasonal operations here at Digital4Good. And so I lead our team of college interns, and this is my 3rd year with the organization. And it's always so inspiring to be able to see the creativity and leadership coming together at this event with all our changemakers who are making such a positive impact in their community. And I'm so excited to be able to MC today and recognize all their incredible work.
In light of tomorrow being Safer Internet Day, as Zoe mentioned before, we want to highlight Digital4Good's mission. We are here to empower young people to harness technology and social media as tools for positive change, whether that means spreading kindness, championing digital safety, or creating innovative solutions. Today's event is all about celebrating the students who are leading this movement and making a real difference online.
We also want to give a huge thank you to our sponsors, including Google and Covenant Case Management Services. Their support is what makes this incredible event possible and fuels the work that our changemakers are doing.
We have a very exciting day ahead of us, filled with opportunities to learn, connect, and be inspired. You'll hear from student changemakers pitching their innovative projects, as I've motioned over here several times for, and engage in interactive activities. We have one coming up really shortly, and gain insights from thought-provoking speakers. The program also includes panels, networking opportunities, and the chance to celebrate and support the incredible work of these young leaders.
And don't forget, at the end of the day, we're going to be awarding the People's Choice Award. It's my personal favorite. So this is where you guys all get to come in and you get to vote on your most favorite, most inspiring, most impactful changemaker that you heard today, and they get to win this honor.
While you're here, feel free to tag us at ICANHELP Official on X, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, any of the above. Let's get Digital for Good and hashtag ICANHELP trending on social media to create a major wave of positivity online, right? Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Kindness is absolutely contagious, so let's do our part in inspiring and lifting each other up.
All right, so a little bit about Digital for Good for those of you that are new to our organization. So we recently kind of changed over from being hashtag ICANHELP to Digital for Good because we were being asked a lot about like, what is our company, what do you do? And we're all about using digital technology for good. So we have 3 pillars. We have hashtag ICANHELP Educate, which is our curriculum, our trainings that we do in schools. We have hashtag ICANHELP Engage, which is events like these, our online webinars, and we have hashtag ICANHELP Empower, which is our student internship program, and we have so many of them here today, and they have helped us put on this incredible event. And now, so we would love to welcome our executive director, Kim Carr, and one of our interns, Samantha Schmidt, to talk a little bit about policy and share some insights. So let's give a big round of applause.
Hello, my name is Sammy Schmidt. I am a student in high school. I'm a freshman in high school. I live in California. I'm a program and events intern here at Digital for Good, and I'm really excited to be with you today. And this is a student at Facing History. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm from Facing History, and my name is Emil, and I'm from here, or Manhattan, and it's nice to be here. Very, very, very sudden to be here.
And this is Kim, and she's going to be talking about...
Well, here's the thing, is we wanted to bring him up here because we want to show how easy this lesson is. Have you ever done this lesson? No. He's like, I just found out I was doing this morning, right? So all of our lessons come as a Google slide. They also come as a PDF. He has never done this presentation, but you guys are going to follow his directions to see how easy this is. Are you ready? Yeah, all right, let's do this.
Okay. So the objective today is that students will explore different points of technology relating to students will explore different points of views relating to technology use. Do you know?
Yeah, so all we're going to do is have you guys follow their cues. If you agree with the statement, you're going to stand up. If you disagree with the statement, you're going to stay seated. And then look around to see who has the same viewpoint as you. All right, are we ready? Here we go.
Yes, we are ready. Okay, I'm going to start us off, and then I'm going to let him take over. So our first statement for today, and if you're streaming in, just put a thumbs up in the chat or a thumbs down, whether you agree or disagree. Social media platforms should require stricter age verification for users. Stand up if you think yes, and stay seated if you think no.
Oh, look around. Oh, we got some people still sitting. Interesting. Why do they think this is not okay? What do you guys think? Uh-huh. Okay. All right.
All right, everyone take a seat.
Schools should have policies placing reasonable limits on phones during class time.
Ooh, yes, stand up. No, have a seat. Oh, Miss Laura, of course. Uh-huh. She's got a different opinion, but that's good. Okay.
More mixed.
She's got different ways of teaching in hers. Uh-huh. All right.
This one seems a little more mixed, a little more different opinions. Everyone can take a seat. Our next statement is there should be legal consequences for cyberbullying.
Ooh. Let's see on this one. Oh, some students are still staying seated. Oh, no, made somebody else, they're like their friend forced them to get them to stand up. Yeah. getting you guys to think about it. We're going to be talking about policy later on with Google. Our next one.
Government should regulate how much personal data social media companies can collect.
Ooh. Oh, this one's like, by the way, live audience, this is 50-50 in the real audience, so it'll be interesting to see what happens online.
Yeah, it looks like this middle section is taking a seat, but we definitely have some people standing up. And our last one, parents should be required to monitor their children's social media activity.
Oh, but how do you get parents to get required? Interesting. So these are all the questions all these tech companies need to start figuring out. New policies in different states is that they are going to require that all social media companies have to verify their age to make sure that they are the certain age they're supposed to be. So it'll be a fun thing to how they're going to make sure that makes happen. All right. Thank you guys so much. You guys can have a seat. How did he do?
I mean, I think he did great. What do we think?
What do you guys think? Do you think you could do this lesson back at your school?
I think I could.
You think you could do it?
I think I
Pretty powerful, right? We just empowered him. We engaged you. We're making sure this is what we do. We are called Digital for Good, but underneath that is our 3 pillars of I can help. I can help educate, I can help engage, and empower. And we just did that with right here. Can we give him one more hand for coming up here? Right? You crushed that. Perfect.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much, Kim, Sammy, and our students. Thank you for sharing all those insights into policy and how we can all be empowered to bring about change in our own communities.
Now it is our pleasure to introduce today's keynote speaker, Houston Kraft, a leader dedicated to building a kinder, more empathetic world. Houston has spoken at over 700 events internationally, sharing his passion for character and social emotional education. In 2016, he co-founded Character Strong, a transformative organization now supporting 10,000 schools across all 50 states and 49 countries.
And Houston, recognized for his inspiring work, was featured on Lay's barbecue chips bags in 2019 as someone who spread smiles. His first book, Deep Kindness, was published in 2020, followed by its companion guide, Be Kind, in 2023. Houston's insights have been showcased on platforms like GMA, CNN, and Hallmark, where he's shared his expertise on cultivating empathy and kindness. Beyond this, Houston is inspired by his mom, who taught him to hug like you mean it. I love that.
I love that too.
Today, he brings us a powerful message about using technology as a bridge for empathy. Please join us in giving him a warm welcome.
Good morning. Hi. It's so good to be here. Some of you might recognize the bottom half of my face if you ever ate barbecue Lay's chips. I spent the last many years speaking in schools, talking about things like kindness. So I appreciated the intro today, that kindness is indeed contagious, and it needs to be. I spent about 7 years wandering around to schools, spoke at about 700 campuses over the course of 7 years, which meant I spent a bunch of time on airplanes. In fact, I remember one airplane ride really well. I remember it for lots of reasons. One of the things I remember very clearly is I was sitting in the middle seat. I don't know how you feel about the middle seat on any form of public transportation. I call it the hot dog seat because people's buns are on either side of me. And I'm sitting in the hot dog seat when this woman shows up, doesn't ask me to stand, she just squeezes past me. She has a seat next to the window, and you can tell that she has more energy than I want her to. She starts taking things out of her bag. She begins to decorate her space. This feels like a red flag. Out of the corner of my eye, I keep seeing her trying to make eye contact with me. She's like, I'm like, look ahead. Do not engage with this woman. I'm exhausted. All I want to do is take a nap, and I get a shoulder tap. I take out my headphone. I'm like, yeah, you need something? She goes, hi, I'm Helga. I'm like, here we go. Helga starts asking me all kinds of questions. And at some point, she asks me what I do for work. I tell her I work in schools. She goes, oh, Houston, I used to work at a school. It was a high school. What was your favorite part? What did you love about high school? I was like, probably my senior year. She goes, why? I'm like, okay, we're going to do this. True story, my senior year of high school, I grew up near Seattle, Washington. And my senior year of high school, some friends and I got together at the beginning of the year and we started a club called Random Acts of Kindness, etc. R-A-K-E, we called it Rake for short. We had a big wooden garden rake, that was our mascot. And once a week, we got together to talk about kindness. We talked about why it was hard, why the world needed more of it, different ways to practice. And we came up with 2 really simple rules. The first one, meet someone new. At the end of every meeting, we would go out into our school and we would meet someone at the school that we hadn't met yet. Rule 2, leave them better than you found them. Most of our meeting, we spent our time talking about what that meant. What does it mean to actually leave people better than you found them? I'm telling Helga this whole story. I look over, she's crying. She goes, Houston, that is so important. I said, yeah, no, it was great. We met a lot of cool people. We had some really fun moments. She looks at me, she goes, no, you don't understand how important that is to me. I said, well, you're probably going to tell me. Just knowing you, Helga. Sure enough, she launches into the story about how the last time she was on an airplane was 3 years before her and I had ever met. She goes, Houston, the last time I flew, it was because early in the morning I woke up to a phone call from my dad's doctor. Helga lives near Seattle, Washington. Her dad, Phoenix, Arizona. She goes, Houston, I woke up to this phone call saying, Helga, I don't know where you're at right now, but the sooner you could get to Arizona, the better. We're taking your dad to the hospital. He's not doing real well, and I'm sure he would love to see you. She goes, Houston, I didn't even pack a bag. I sped to the airport. I bought a plane ticket for like 5 hours later that night. I was stressing out in the airport all day until finally I sat down on the plane. I took my phone out to turn it off, and I get a phone call from my dad's doctor explaining that my dad had passed away. She goes, Houston, I'm on my way to go and see him when I learn that I lost him. And now I'm sitting next to strangers. After getting the worst news of my life, I don't think I said a word that whole plane ride. I'm pretty sure I was in shock. I just sat there in silence until finally we landed in Arizona. I walked off the plane. I walked up to the nearest wall, and I just fell down. I put my head in my hands, and I cried harder than I ever cried in my whole life. Helga's got a good sense of humor. She goes, Houston, you should know something about me. I'm not a pretty crier. I'm not a quiet crier. I sound like Chewbacca's choking on something. It is loud, it's aggressive, it's noticeable. And then she looks at me, she goes, you want to know why what you're talking about is so important to me? Kindness. Houston, I sat in the airport that day for 2 hours, crying on the worst day of my life. And if I had to guess, over the course of that 2 hours, there's probably 3,000 people in that airport around me, going to their planes, getting off their planes. Houston, 2 hours, 3,000 people. Not one. Not a single person stopped. And she goes, you have no idea how much I could use an act of kindness that day. It's weird. I've never talked to Helga again. We were just airplane friends. I don't even know her last name. I couldn't find her if I wanted to. But whenever I think about Helga, it forces me to ask myself the question, like if I were to bump into a Helga walking the streets of New York today, would I stop? If I were to see someone hurting in that way, would I stop? And my honest answer on more days than not is no. And I know in the moment I would give myself all kinds of excuses. Like, I don't have the time. I'm too busy. I got other things to do. I'm sure someone else will stop and help. Maybe this person doesn't even want my help. Or more likely, I'm probably looking at this. Going from point A to point B. And it's weird. Sometimes between point A and point B, it feels like we missed the whole point. One of the things I've realized doing this work for a long time is just kindness is a lot harder than we make it seem. Working in schools for a bunch of time, one of the most common posters I see is throw kindness around like confetti. Sounds delightful, but the truth is, kindness is a lot more complicated than confetti. It's hard work, it's inconvenient, it's challenging. You know, they did this study where they asked families what they wanted most for their kids. For them to be high-performing, happy, or kind. Rank them, 1, 2, 3. And over 80% of families said they would rather their kids be happy or kind over high performing. And they asked the kids of the same families what they thought their parents wanted them to be, high performing or happy or kind. And the data was the exact opposite. To put it differently, young people believe that adults in their life would rather they get good grades than be good people. Harvard's Graduate School of Education, who ran this study, called it the rhetoric-reality gap, the gap between what we say matters and what we actually make matter. The gap between what we say is good and what we're actually good at. I feel frustrated by that gap. And I feel like maybe some of the people in this room are thinking about different ways to close it. That gets me kind of excited. My brain goes like this: if kindness is harder than we make it seem, what do we need to teach? How do we close that gap that exists in our world right now? How do we make kindness a little bit more common, not only in person, but online? Popcorn it out for me for a second. If you were to think about the behavior of kindness, people showing kindness in the world, what are the skills that live beneath it? Give me some ideas. Empathy. Compassion. Awareness. Understanding. Love. Listening. Service. Respect. It's a good reminder. Sometimes someone's being a turd and you're like, just be kind. And what you're really saying is, can you pause for a moment to regulate your emotions and be of service to the person across from you? Listen to them well, have awareness of their feelings as well as yours so you can show up with empathy and compassion. And the guy's like, I'm 12 years old. What are you talking about? This is hard. This is impossible. The reality is the behavior of kindness in our world is a lot more complicated. It's this external thing that happens in the world because of internal things happening behind the scenes. They're skills that we have to teach. And I think the number one we have to teach right now in our world is empathy. For lots of reasons. One of them, in my mind, is this. One of my favorite authors is a woman named Dr. Michelle Borba. She wrote a book called Unselfie. And in it, she talks about what are the biggest categorical barriers? What gets in the way of us feeling empathy for each other? She says it's three things. The first one is fear. The second one, narcissism. The third one, anxiety. All three of which have increased in our world over the past 20 years. She puts it really simply, as anxiety goes up, empathy goes down. It makes sense. Anxiety is a self-oriented emotion. The more worried I am about what's going on in my world, the harder time I have understanding what's going on in yours. Did you know that the average young person today has as much anxiety as the average psychiatric patient from the 1950s? Some of y'all are like, I'm feeling attacked right now. Makes sense. There's a lot of reasons why anxiety is going up in our world. Perhaps one of the most notable ones, technology. Social media, the constant barrage that each of us deal with every day. We have more access to data and information every single moment of the day than we certainly did 10 years ago, 20, 30, 70 years ago. That much data makes us anxious. So how do we channel that towards something good? How do we recognize that we're inside of a digital era and we have to use it for good? There's no other option. Well, we got to make sure we're putting a focus on staying connected in the ways that actually matter. You know, empathy isn't just one thing. It's a few different parts that come together. The first part is emotional empathy, the heart side of things. The second one is cognitive or mental empathy, the brain side of things. And the last one's behavioral empathy, action, compassion action, the hands side of things. Let's start with the first one, emotional empathy. One of my favorite ways to cultivate emotional empathy is through GIFs. In fact, do me a favor, leave your things where they're at right now, and go ahead and stand up, and your goal is very simple. You're just gonna find a partner who is not the person sitting next to you. It's the only rule. Go ahead and find a partner who is not the person sitting next to you. Stand up. Some of you are like, this was fun until we had to do this. You three can be together if you want. And no one's looking for a partner? Oh, come on up here, my friend. It's a group of three here. Oh, wait. Here, you three can be together right here. That's perfect. You can be a group of 3 if you need to. Group of 3 if you need to. Hop in. You 2 can go together. Or you 3 go together. Okay, that's okay. Break the rules. 3, 2, 1. Hey, with your partner or your group of 3, do me a favor. Go back to back. Back towards your partner's back. If you're touching your partner's back, give them a little shoulder blade roll. Just move it out a little bit. It's been a long day. Deep breath in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Side to side. Go ahead and go shoulder to your partner's shoulder, facing whatever screen you can see best. Side to side, facing a screen. Shoulders to shoulder. My favorite way, you're nailing it. My favorite way to teach or support the development of emotional empathy is through GIFs. In fact, do me a favor. Pay attention to the screen. I don't want you to say anything right now. I just want you to think to yourself, what would you name this emotion?
Joyful. Excitement.
How about this one? How about this one?
Fuzzy wuzzy.
Hey, with your partner, choose one of the 3. And I want you with your partner to share, what would you name the feeling? And number 2, when was the last time you felt it? Front to front, facing your partner, go ahead and share. Name a feeling. When was the last time you felt it? Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to back. Back to back with your partner. Yeah, perfect. Deep breath in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Side to side, facing me. You know, my best friend, his name is Esteban. He says, we're all 2 how are yous away from a breakdown. Why is that? Well, because when someone asks, how are you, what do you say? Good, fine. Habitual response. But if someone were to put their hand on your shoulder, look you in the eyes and say, no, how are you really? You'd say, I wish you didn't do that. Why? Well, because most of us actually have no idea how we're doing. You know the average American adult can only name 4 emotions as they're feeling them? The 4 basic human emotions: mad, sad, glad, and afraid. But you know as well as I do that there's a whole lot more ways to describe the way that we experience the world. In fact, people would say there's actually over 15,000 ways to describe the way we experience the world. I think we need to increase our emotion vocabulary. It's one of the things that we do at Character Strong, help to support the teaching of understanding how we're feeling in any given moment. Why? Well, the better we can name our emotion, number 1, the better we can regulate them. Number 2, the better we understand how we're feeling, the more empathy we can have for other people experiencing that same emotion. Looking at the screen right now, choose one that you would say best describes your experience, your emotional experience of the last week. Oh my. Popcorn it out for me. What's been your last week? Stressed. Anxious. Content. Relaxed. Optimistic. Enthusiastic. Worried. Overwhelmed. Hopeful. Joyful. A beautiful reminder, is it not, that when we sit down in any given room, physical or virtual, there's a whole range of emotions happening in any given time. Your emotion might map onto the person across from you, and it might be totally different. In fact, I want to do an exercise. with the partner that you have with you, go ahead. If you have it on you, take out your phone. And you're going to intentionally make a new friend here. If it feels good and comfortable to you, you can go ahead and send them a text message right now, get their number. If you don't have it right now, that's okay. Just play along. If you're watching at home, take your phone out right now. You can send a message to a friend, to yourself. And here's the simple activity. You're going to take the word that best describes your last week. And you're going to go ahead and send your new friend a GIF. You're going to type that word into whatever GIF generator you choose. And you're going to choose the GIF that best represents your emotion from the last week. It does not have to be a GIF. It could be an image. Emily says, this is perfect. This is it.
See what I mean? It's perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
You got, good. You got about 10 seconds. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's the one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you haven't finished now, you can send it to them later. Go ahead and go back to back with your partner. Back to back. Back to back. Deep breath in through your nose. Hold. Out through your mouth. Side to side facing the screen. We have emotional empathy, the heart side of things, and we also have mental empathy, perspective taking. One of my favorite ways to practice perspective taking is to give us an opportunity to connect organically. Inside of Character Strong, we have these menus, these relational menus that are designed to facilitate connection. Here are some of my few favorite 3 games. This one comes from our 7th grade menu. We got this or that, connect the dots, or what are you doing? Would someone choose an activity? This or that? Let's give it a try. Let's see if we can click on this or that. Let's see if it works. No, it does not work. It doesn't work. Don't worry about it. The way that this or that works is we give 2 categories. Would you choose this thing or that thing? So someone give me 2 sort of opposing ideas that you might choose between. Chocolate or vanilla ice cream? Chocolate is 1, vanilla 2. Turn to your partner. Don't say anything. Just hold up 1 for chocolate, 2 for vanilla. Side to side facing me. Side to side facing me. Let's give 2 other opposing ideas. What's another one?
Is school good or bad?
Is school number 1 good or number 2 bad? 1 good, 2 bad. Okay, let's do another one. One more.
Android or iPhone?
What is it? School lunch or take from home? Oh, school lunch or stay hungry? How about Android or iPhone? Hot take in the Google headquarters. 1 iPhone, 2 Android. Respect. DC 1, Marvel 2. DC 1, Marvel 2. Back to back with your partner. Deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, side to side, facing the screen. That got heated fast. You know the average American adult, 50%, 1 out of every 2 would describe themselves as lonely. You know that 72% of Generation Z would describe themselves as sometimes or always feeling alone. That's real. You're like, I'm feeling a lot of attack during this conversation. One of the things I believe deeply is that connection doesn't happen on accident. We are designed as social creatures, but it doesn't mean we're good at it. And one of the things that makes us anxious about social media is it's close to the real thing, but it's not quite there yet. So we have to find opportunities to bridge technology and authentic connection. It can't be watching stories that have already happened. It has to be finding organic ways to blend the two, which takes us into the last part, behavioral empathy. You don't know much about your new friend, but you do know a little bit. Take what you know and fill in the blanks. Hey, blank, you are both blank and blank. Thanks for blank. Front to front, how would you fill in those blanks? Five, four, three, two, one. Do me a favor, choose one of the two of you. Take a selfie of the two of you guys and send it to the other person so that you capture this moment in time. Can we take a 0.5? There it is. Three, two, one. Side to side, facing me. Empathy is a skill that lives beneath the behavior of kindness. And it's not a simple thing, it takes work. It's something we have to cultivate. We have emotional empathy, the heart side, mental empathy, perspective taking, intentional imagination, and the behavioral empathy, where empathy transforms into kindness. And at every intersection, there's things to learn. There's compassionate action. There's thoughtful responses. There's emotional understanding of someone else's experience. And right there in the center of it all, when we blend those things together, we create an action of kindness. And we can use technology as a bridge to create those moments, both of empathy, but also this thing that we need a whole lot more of in our world called kindness. I'm in the hot dog seat. Helga looks at me, she goes, Houston, 2 hours, 3,000 people, not one person stopped. I'll never forget what she said next. She goes, Houston, you know what I realized that day as 3,000 people walked by me? I realized that kindness isn't normal. That it's not normal in our world to be kind. And ever since that day, I've been trying to figure out how we change that. Personally, I fundamentally believe that education is the #1 way to change the future. The things that we teach today are the behaviors that we experience tomorrow. The competencies that we cultivate in classrooms is the culture that we live inside of tomorrow. The people in this room aren't just students. They are leaders, they are educators, they are changemakers. You all are in the business of making normal better. So don't just do it with the fun little things. Don't just do it with academics or grades. But make kindness normal. That's the kind of change we're looking for. Give your partner a high five, handshake, or hug, and make your way back to your seat. Thank you guys for listening this morning. If you want to, yeah, thank you. If you want to follow up, connected to anything, if you want to learn more about the work that we do, got a QR code for you here, and I'm going to pass it back to Anvita and Emily.
Oh, thank you. I'll take it.
Good.
Thank you.
Wait, one more slide. Oh, I have some more slides.
I think these are this or that slides, so we can just skip right through them. And in the meanwhile, we can give Houston another big round of applause. Yeah. Thank you so much, Houston, for sharing your inspiring insights and reminding us how empathy can transform the way that we use technology and everything about kindness. I've learned a lot. I don't know about you guys. Yeah? Okay.
All right, in the meantime, I would love to give a special thank you on behalf of Oge, one of our board members on event planner for the summit, who she unfortunately could not be here today. But I'm honored to share her heartfelt gratitude and vision with you all. She speaks not only as a leader and a mentor, but also as an African-American woman in tech, an identity that has shaped her journey and fueled her passion for service and innovation. Her path is marked by resilience, determination, and an unwavering belief in the transformative power of technology for good. Her journey has been driven by a commitment to servant leadership, a belief that true leadership is about empowering others, nurturing talent, and remaining steadfast in the mission to create positive change. In today's politically challenged climate, where division and uncertainty are all too prevalent, she believes it is more important than ever to stand together, united by a common goal. She leads with empathy, listens with an open heart, and works tirelessly to build bridges that connect communities and shape a collective future, which has led us here today at our Digital4Good Summit, celebrating this awesome changemakers and interns. Ogechi extends her deepest thanks to her incredible team, Jessica, myself, Daniel, and Kevin, who are all a little bit stage shy, but if you guys see them around, please make sure to give them a huge thank you for organizing all this and creating this incredible event. Their unwavering dedication and the way they've stuck together like glue have been vital in turning this vision into reality. Their continuous hard work over the past year has not only propelled this summit to new heights, but also strengthened the bond within our community. We also extend sincere gratitude to our esteemed board of directors and our visionary executive director, Kim Carr, somewhere around here. Your guidance and belief in our mission have been critical in navigating both opportunities and challenges. A special thank you goes out to all the interns, changemakers, and sponsors who have worked tirelessly alongside us over the last 9 months. The passion and commitment displayed by our cohort have set the stage for what we believe will be a lasting impact in the digital sphere and beyond. Our thanks also goes to our sponsors, speakers, and performers whose contributions have enriched the summit in immeasurable ways. And of course, we are immensely grateful to Google for hosting us once again, providing a platform that amplifies our collective message of harnessing digital innovation for good. As we stand at the intersection of technology, social change, and leadership, Oge's message is clear. Let us continue to utilize digital for good. Let us persist in making an impact on our world, challenging norms and inspiring future generations to create a more just and equitable society. Thank you for being a part of this journey, and thank you for joining us in turning vision into action. And together, we are making a difference. And Oge's not here. Can we get a big round of applause for her?
And another huge round of applause for our incredible, incredible events team.
And for those of you who are virtually streaming, please hype her up in the chat.
Yes, please.
She is incredible.
Now we are so excited to kick off our power hour. I'm really excited. I'm starting to shout. Where our 5 incredible changemakers will pitch their innovative projects to the Shark Tank drama. For those virtual viewers who are just joining us, welcome. My name is Emily Noonan. I am the annual lead programs and events intern at Digital4Good.
And I'm Anvita, and I'm the head of seasonal operations of Digital4Good. And we'd love to welcome Zoe back to just do a quick introduction of herself for our new virtual viewers. Zoe.
Do you know where she is?
Perfect. Or not.
Maybe not.
All right,
Okay, we'll
perfect. So we'll be jumping right into the Shark Tank. And yeah, so if we can get our chairs up here. And we would love to introduce our lead shark, Adrian Boisel from Brand Butler. And he will be introducing the other sharks and our changemakers.
Buddy, good to see all your beautiful faces. Let's make some noise for everybody that's already come up so far. Houston, come on, a little more noise. And I also want to give a shout out. Let's make some more noise for the people that are online that are watching this, so they can all hear you guys. We got better than that. One more time. Come on. All right, so we have some amazing sharks. My name is Adrian Boycell. I'm a content creator. I'm a CEO of Brand Butler. You guys may have seen the logo here up on stage. We built an amazing AI software, but my goal is not to talk about that. I was put on this earth. Who of you here has a clear vision of what your purpose is? Right? There's a few in the room, but many of us walk around through our day-to-day lives that don't know what that is. And the reason why I was put on this earth was to help people discover that. And part of that process for me has been through entrepreneurship. I started my business at a very young age, only 19 years old, had a brick and mortar business, did not know what I was doing, never ran a business before in my life, and made a lot of mistakes. But through that process of entrepreneurship, it became the greatest path for my own self-improvement. And I believe that it's a great path for others in self-improvement. And many of these changemakers here are discovering the same thing. And so helping people find their purpose has been something I've become very, very good at. I've worked with over 5,000 companies. I've been in business now for almost 20 years. And through that process, I've developed my own frameworks, my own systems, and my own methods. And through those methods, I've been able to help thousands of people actually discover what that purpose is and then wrap it around their entire business. And when you have an actual core purpose and you're clear on what that purpose is, you actually can create a business that's different from everybody else's. Because the one thing that every single one of you has that nobody else has is a story. Your story is different from your story, and your story is different from your story. We all have our each individual stories. And the one thing I learned very quickly in the very beginning of my business was my story was very unique, and the people that were coming across to me, their story was very unique. And if I could take that and wrap their messaging, why they're doing it, who they wanted to help, and why they wanted to help, I could make their brand and their business, whatever they were passionate about, stand out compared to everybody else. And so this is something that's very important to me, something that I really care about and I want to help others discover. And so my business partner, Chris, and I have come here. This is my second year now. And we've come here to try to help other people discover that. And we want to empower those change makers and other people that are here in the room and watching online. We want to empower them to do the same thing, to discover what that purpose is, discover why they were put on this earth, and actually help them carry out that mission through Brand Butler, through Skill Stacker, which is a group and a community that I have where I'm teaching people the soft skills and the hard skills that they need in entrepreneurship and even in their daily lives. I call it health, wealth, and relationships, becoming a three-dimensional person. So with that all being said, I'd like to go ahead and introduce our sharks. We'll put them up on the screen. Oh, I'm actually going to introduce my business partner, Mr. Chris McKenzie. He is the president of Brand Butler AI, and he is the actual integrator behind the visionary here that has actually helped me take this vision, take these frameworks, and take my purpose and actually bring them into real life. I've had a lot of great ideas over the course of my 20 years, but none of them were ever really possible to the extent that they are today until him. So with that being said, Mr. Chris McKenzie.
I'm going to try my best not to cry. No, seriously, this is a very important event. When he asked me to come and be a part of this, I was very excited. I've been a youth pastor. I've been a person that has gone into many juvenile delinquency centers to reach out to underprivileged kids that have gotten in trouble. But I think the most important thing that I've done as a mentor and a person that's poured into children are my own children. And what I do with my own children is I teach them how to be four-dimensional people, which is mind, body, spirit, soul. Soul is emotion. So I'm not even going to go into it because you did such a great job, Houston, explaining most of that. And I'm not going to get down and do push-ups and talk about the importance of eating and all of that kind of stuff. But anyway, so that's what I do. And the way that I do it is through a process called the 4P process, which is purpose. It all begins with purpose. And then we move on to the next step, which is planning. Through Brand Butler, we allow you to come on, answer a few questions to define everything that he just described. Through that plan, we allow you to take it and to create assets. This is the next step, which is preparation. And through preparation, then we enable you to be able to send that into production, to take your marketing plans and your objectives to reach the world. And so I'm going to be up here, I'm going to be talking and interacting, and I'm just so honored and excited to be able to be a part of this event. Thank you so much.
All right. I'd like to introduce one of the other sharks, a very close friend, a brother, somebody that I met a few years ago, and it's interesting. He and I have a very serious working relationship. We spend a lot of time together early in the mornings doing a lot of work, but every once in a while you meet that person that you just instantly hit it off with. And Gabe, Mr. Gabriel Vangelatos, is one of those people. I'd love to introduce him. He is just an amazing human being, amazing guy who's had no hesitation to come here and support and donate and sponsor this event. So let's give him a big round of applause.
Do I push a button or is just, you should be good. I should be good. Hey guys, how's it going? So I have to be honest, I didn't even know I was giving a speech today, and I was told that I have 3 minutes, so it's like, oh, wow, 3 minutes? Hi. So my name is Gabriel Vangelatos. I am the founder of Before the Rise. We are a marketing agency, but I'm also a CMO of a company called Influence Me Institute. And what I got involved with Influence Me Institute is because my mentor, the guy who taught me all about business and taught me all about how to reach for higher levels, offered me a position of being one of his partners. I'm like, well, why does he want me to be one of his partners? And the key thing about that was that he asked me because he saw potential in me. He saw leadership in me, a leadership quality that he saw in himself before that. And he understood that there were boundaries that I had that were keeping me away from being a great leader. And the one thing that I learned about being a great leader is from him specifically and from everyone around us is that great leaders not only teach you how to achieve, are achievers themselves. So with that being said, this is exactly why I wanted to be on this stage and be a Shark Tank, because being able to achieve is something that's greatly appreciated, but teaching others to achieve is what it really means to be a great leader. And that is why I'm here today. Thank you, guys.
All right. Our next shark is Miss Nisha Patel. She's from Google. She's awesome. We had her last year as well, and grateful to welcome her back today. Let's give her a huge round of applause as well.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your time here at the Google office. I'm Nisha Patel. I've been at Google for 3 years, a little over 3 years. One of the areas that I work in is the kids and family area, and this is one of my favorite events, so I'm here again. I love making a difference. I work on a lot of projects that are kids related, that help parents and guardians and caregivers. So I'm really excited to be here. My role is a senior program manager, which actually means pretty much running large projects, specifically in that kids and family area. So I can't wait to hear all of your guys' pitches. I'll pass it on to you. Thank you.
Hi all, another Googler up here. My name is Lindsay Majeski. I am on our Government Affairs and Public Policy team supporting our search and generative AI products. I specialize in things like child safety, online gender-based violence, and privacy. So very excited to be here today. This really hits close to home. I also have 2 small kids as well, so definitely building products for the future and ensuring trust and safety all along. Thank you.
All right.
All right, so we're just going to talk about real quick how the Shark Tank is going to work.
Cool.
So we are going to have our 5 incredible changemakers pitch to the Shark Tank, and they will pitch, and then our sharks will have a chance to ask questions, make offers, maybe barter a little bit.
That's right.
And our changemakers will get to pick which shark they would like to continue to work with after the summit.
Really quickly, how many of you have seen the actual show Shark Tank? Can I get a raise of hands?
Come on.
Okay, a lot of you. I
Yeah.
hope a lot of you virtual viewers too. It's going to be like that, but
We're a
more
lot
drama.
Yeah, we're a lot. I was
Better.
gonna say we're a
That
lot
is gonna be
nicer
better.
though.
All right.
Okay.
And so we are so excited to introduce our very first changemaker of the day. First in the tank, we have Ishita Arkepudi, founder of Skywriters, an initiative designed to foster a diverse, inclusive, and accessible aviation environment through mentorship and outreach. So let's give her a big round of applause. Why am I body?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ishita Arkepudi, a teen pilot and author, and I'm honored to present to you Skywriters, a transformative initiative designed to bridge gaps to access for youth in aviation, reaching over 50,000 people in 2024. Did you know that by 2032, aviation is expected to need nearly 80,000 pilots, and that right now only 3.5% of all pilots are youth? Despite this demand, many young people remain unaware or unable to access pathways into this field. There's numerous barriers to access. When I was in 8th grade and I knew I wanted to be an astronaut, I had such a hard time finding resources and mentorship, and that's why I created Skywriters. The barriers in this field are clear: limited resources, lack of availability, and financial constraints. Skywriters is a gateway to bridge this gap where aviation holds immense potential to fill it. So why do so many young people, especially in underserved communities, remain excluded from aviation? The answer lies in 3 core challenges. Accessibility. Most schools don't offer aviation programs. Awareness. Many youth don't consider aviation a career field. And opportunities. Often high costs for training and certifications make aviation seem unattainable. Skywriters is a gateway to break these barriers. So, we tackle these challenges with a research-based 3-prong approach, focusing on students in K through 12. We focus on exposure. We host events like region-wide aviation fairs and run school and community-based clubs. Mentorship. We connect students with astronauts, engineers, and pilots who guide them every step of the way. And Gateway. Our digital platform allows us to provide a structured roadmap for students. But why does the current system fail to deliver? Most programs are focused on professionals, not youth. They're regionally restricted, leaving rural and underserved communities behind. And often, they're expensive. Skywriters is here to rewrite the narrative. By 2026, we aim to impact 200,000 students across the country. This is possible through school-based clubs. Partnering with just 500 schools means reaching 50,000 youth per year, and our digital platform will allow us to reach thousands more across the country. And partnerships with organizations like the Experimental Aircraft Association will allow us to reach thousands more, amplifying our efforts. At the heart of our Gateway platform, we will have profile-based responses, live mentoring sessions, a book guide, podcasts and recorded sessions, talks to schools nationwide, and partnership opportunities with national organizations. Here's what our website wireframe will look like. Students need to input just 4 fields to get exclusive content and career pathways tailored to their needs. So, to make this vision a reality, I need your help in 3 key areas. Building. We need your help in developing Gateway to make it accessible to students nationwide. Marketing. We seek to amplify our reach through social media, influencer collaborations, and strategic partnerships. And funding. Lastly, we aim to collaborate with national organizations and sponsors to secure the funding necessary to scale our programs. In closing, Skywriters is not just a program, it's a movement to bridge gaps. Thank you, and I look forward to collaborating with you to make this vision soar.
All right, Sharks, got any questions?
Yeah.
Hi, great job on your presentation. I have a question on your mentoring program. How is that going to work? And you briefly mentioned the types of mentors that you have. Can you go more into details on that one?
Yes, of course. So basically how it works is through the connections I've built over the past 4 or 5 years with these astronauts, there's different pilots, like presidents of these national flight organizations, volunteer pilots, engineers, and mechanics who work in the industry. They are more than willing to help students, youth, from K through 12, any age, access opportunities in these fields. But the problem is, as a young person, it's extremely hard to find a mentor, especially when your family is not related in aviation, your friends are not. And so Skywriters, the program is, if young people come to us like interested, we will find someone who is in the career pathway they want to go into to connect them, to provide them with opportunities, mentorship, and to have like an older person there to guide them every step of the way.
Thank you.
Got a question. So everybody, when they're starting a business or they have an organization, they have somebody that they look to. They call it the lighthouse. Who is the person that you're looking to, and in your space, in the aviation space, and why?
For me, it's my very first mentor. So my family is not into aviation at all, but in 8th grade, when I decided I wanted to be an astronaut, which I still do, I needed a mentor, I needed someone. So through the Experimental Aircraft Association, I had my first ever airplane ride, and I fell in love on that very first ride. And the person who gave me that ride is Jim McCooey, and he's still my mentor to this day because every step of the way, he inspired me. He shares all of these opportunities with kids, and I want to be like him. I want to like provide that resources for other kids like he helped me in everything from scholarships to resources to connecting with people.
Beautiful. Very good.
Can you describe a challenge you faced in building this and how you've overcome that?
Yeah, so most of it is just reaching out to people and getting it integrated. So awareness, like many youth don't consider aviation a sustainable career field, even though there is such a need right now. And so to be able to show them, you can start right now. Like a lot of people think, oh, well, maybe it's something I'll do in my 30s. It's been really hard to convince and show people that you can get your glider license at 16, you can get your airplane license at 17, and to show them that finance is not a constraint. You can get scholarships, that this is possible for you to do. So to really get that reach and expand our efforts.
Hi, great job. So I'm just a little curious, like where are you at in the process of this plan, funding, development, the 3 phases, kind of where are you at in that process right now?
Right now. So in Skywriters itself, we're an established national nonprofit organization. And so we've already connected with a lot of national organizations, including the Women's Soaring Pilot Association, Experimental Aviation, Experimental Aircraft Association, and Soaring Society of America. And we are working with them right now to get funding. So the Soaring Society of America, we're writing grants to build this program. We don't have the actual app set up yet, so that's our next step going forward. But we've written a book guide, like prototyped all of that, done live mentoring sessions, podcasts, and hosted all these aviation fairs connecting with students. So now we're trying to build it digitally.
And from a mentorship standpoint, are you looking for somebody to help you facilitate the project, the funding to be able to pay to get it done, or coming from a person of my background, that's
yeah. Mostly it's like developing the actual app. So since I already work with aviation organizations, I'd be able to like work with them to get more funding. But like establishing that search engine, that base, that platform, like getting all those into an accessible place for students.
So I have a question. What is your personal goal for this project?
I want this to be the program that I needed when I was in 8th grade. So I want a kid who maybe doesn't know anything about aviation or knows kind of what they want to go into this program, put in a few of their basic details, their interests, and be able to get opportunities for them. Or when I was looking for scholarships, I spent hours and hours research, not even like applying, just researching. And so to save all of that time for young people to be able to just go out there and get what they want without spending too much time on the extra stuff.
Very good. Any more questions? All right. Thank you so much, Ashita.
Thank you.
So now it's time for you to pick your shark. Sharks, if you want to give like a 1-sentence offer on what you can bring to her project.
So I feel I could help you with the website and the marketing mostly. Funding, I guess I'm a little iffy on too. But with me, it's mostly the website and the marketing.
Yeah, we just launched our version 2 of our software, and it's something that we're very familiar with. We've done countless times now, and we'd love to help you, support you with that.
I think that it would be good for having somebody like me involved to be able to help you with the execution on the vision, just overall. I think there's a lot of different touch points there, and you need somebody to kind of guide you from start to finish, and that's more of what I bring to the table.
Something I heard from what you need is help with a search engine, and I think that's where I step in as a specialty, having really in detailed knowledge of kind of how the world's largest search engine works, and kind of connections within the company of Google. Yeah.
Where I can help you the most, I run a lot of large programs at Google, and I take things from beginning to end to execute. And if you need operational help, making sure things are flowing correctly for your project here. And on top of it, one of my very close friends is a pilot in Orange County, and so if you ever needed to pick his brain on how to navigate things, he is a pretty well established pilot out there. So that would be a good connection.
Thank you so much for all of your offers. I am so grateful. Nisha, I would love to work with you. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ishita.
Really quickly before we move on to the next changemaker, I wanted to shout out Siddharth and Sariana, who are in our our live stream, and they are all hyping the chat up, and our lovely moderators noticed you guys, so I wanted to give a huge shout out to you guys. Next in the tank, we have Naomi Bamboji, the co-founder of the Girls Techie, a nonprofit for all female students. For an all-female student-run organization aimed at empowering the next generation of young girls across Africa. Unfortunately, she's not able to join us in person, so she is going to be joining us virtually. Please welcome Naomi.
Hello everyone, my name is Naomi Bambouche. It's actually Bambouche. Thank you. On to the next slide, please. My name is Naomi Bambouche from Lagos, Nigeria, and a fun fact about me is that I was part of the ICANHELP. I entered at ICANHELP in 2021, which is where my journey started from. And as a young girl in tech, I joined the tech community. I started attending hackathons. Hackathons are events where you're given 24 to 72 hours to participate. And then every time we attended hackathons, we always noticed the gender disparity, which is my co-founder and I. And the breaking deal for us was where we had to attend a hackathon, which was an all-female hackathon, and we didn't have people from our country also attending, which all made us think, how could we do to help this? Next slide, please. Which was what brought about the Girls Techie. The Girls Techie is a non-for-profit, all-female student-run organization aimed at empowering, connecting, and inspiring the next generation of young women in STEM. We are on a mission to close the gender gap in STEM in Africa. Next slide, please. And we've had 20 plus virtual events in the since 2021, in which we've been founded, with over 600 girls being empowered in our community. We exist in Nigeria, Tanzania, Kenya, and Zimbabwe, with over 3 plus physical events. Next slide, please. And we're leveraging technology to empower girls in STEM. And how we do this, first of all, we do this by harnessing digital platforms to deliver workshops, by also granting some of the girls in our communities. And we have our curriculums which span over STEM fields, because from where I am in Nigeria, we have curriculums where they no longer work. So we do this in a way where we connect girls with mentors and the resources that are meant for them. Next slide, please. And we've had social impact over the few years by actively reducing education inequalities. And we've also equipped girls with several STEM skills for them to be able to be in the long run. Next slide, please. And we also educate people through digital media with our innovative approach to make text education more interesting and engaging. And we also try to create a learning environment where girls feel inspired and supported to explore areas in STEM. Next slide, please. And you could join us by through financial support or partnerships. And you could also be a volunteer or a mentor to the girls in our community. And you could also sponsor a program or partner with us to expand our outreach. We're currently in 4+ countries, and we have plans to expand to more countries. And meanwhile, you could also volunteer to be part of our STEM education. Next slide, please. Thank you.
There we go. Great job, Naomi. Okay, so I have a question for you. When it comes to your education, what sets your platform apart beyond just helping girls, but what's different about your strategy with the education?
Okay, so what makes our platform stand out is, first of all, when we did our research, we noticed that most people who also help girls in STEM, especially in the part of world where I'm from, I know people my age, they're people of adults. And we noticed that me as a young girl, when I started learning the tech skills, like the people who taught to me were actually males at some point, and they were adults. So sometimes it wasn't easy for me to communicate. So what sets us apart is the fact that we're a community of girls. It's just girls. The people who you would mentor with, apart from our mentors, but the people who would teach you, who would work with you, who would guide you through the process are girls your age, which are going to work with you.
Very good.
So how large is your platform currently?
How large, as in how big is our community?
Yes, how big is your community currently?
Oh, we are a community of over like 200 girls. We have over 200 girls all together, which we have like a group where we all communicate, but like not minus the impact for girls who are currently with us.
And what is your goal? Like how many girls would you want in the program?
Okay, so in the program, in the long run, so we have a community where it's like a group where we talk to girls. We have like discussions, platforms. So that's just like a WhatsApp group chat. But apart from that, like we have outreaches, we have events where it's not necessarily just members of the community, but it's open to like other people. But in the long run, we would love to have because we understand how small a WhatsApp platform can be. So we plan to expand to Discord. So by 2030, we plan to have over 2,000 girls on our Discord community.
Very good.
I had one question. What's your current marketing strategy? What are some social media platforms you're using to market your program?
Okay, so we're currently on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And through our YouTube, for our YouTube channel, we have what we call TGT Talks, where we bring women who have made it in STEM spaces. We interview them. So that's what our YouTube is used for. And then for our Instagram, LinkedIn, and our Twitter account, we just we share tips and information of how to grow as a girl in STEM, or we post when we're having events. So those are our main form of communication.
Well, what is the most important thing you're looking for in a mentor?
Oh, the most important thing we're looking for in a mentor, first of all, we have different mentors in different spaces. So for example, we have a mentor who works at Google. She's the program manager at Google. So we have girls. So for example, we try to connect girls with the mentor who would suit them the most. So we look in mentors, we look for different qualities. So sometimes we look for mentors who have already made it in the field they are, or we also look for mentors who will try to like guide them. So mentors, like if I want to go into UI UX designer, I'm a team member of our community, then we have mentors in that platform. So we just look for mentors in total who have like the skills, qualification, or like who advise people. So in STEM, so those are the main qualifications we look for.
Got it.
What is your next big milestone for this project?
So our next big milestone for this project is, as I said before, we're currently in 4+ countries. We're actually in 4 countries at the moment, and all our physical events are actually have been held in Nigeria. We've only had like an online community where we have, like, for example, our STEM boot camps, which happen online. So we have people from all over join us. So we plan on this year, 2025, we plan on hosting having STEM outreach in both Tanzania, Kenya, and Rwanda. So those are big milestones for this year.
All right. Thank you, Naomi. All right, Sharks. Let's start with you, Gabe. What would be your pitch? Give a one line pitch of what you would say to her pick you.
So I would say your goal of 2030, which was 2,000 girls, I say we could get that to 200,000.
I would say that education, and specifically YouTube, is one of my gifts and superpowers, something I've got a lot of experience in that will help you get more awareness towards your project. And I'm a community builder, so that's really important to me, something I've had a lot of success. I've got thousands of people that have come from my YouTube channel, and I can help you learn that same process and framework.
Yeah, so we're business partners. We have a platform already called Skill Stacker and Skill Stackers. And I think it would be a good integration into our platform. It would be a natural progression and a good integration for you to find other people like us that would be willing to help as well.
I have extensive experience in building out tech literacy programs and other tech education platforms. And additionally, would be able to connect you to resources both within Google as well as partnership opportunities as part of the company if you chose me.
Hi, so I'm a program manager at Google as well. So from that aspect, I would be able to help a lot on the operational and program management side of things.
Those are some good pitches right there. Who are you going to choose?
I'm not really good with names, but I'm going to go with the person who said they were going to help me. The lady who works at Google, the first one who spoke before the last.
There we go.
Okay, thank you so much, Naomi, for your incredible pitch and lovely answers to our Sharks questions.
Yes. All right, and we would love to shout out Wayberry and Daniel and Abigail, who are tuning into our YouTube live stream and hyping up all of our changemakers in the chat. And with that said, next in the tank, we have Rohan Satija, founder of the Let's Learn Foundation, an organization that aims to empower through education by providing underprivileged students with access to educational materials such as books, school supplies, and mental health resources. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Hi all, my name is Rohan Satija. I'm a high school senior from Austin, Texas, and I'm the CEO of Let's Learn Foundation. I'm so excited to be here today. So what is Let's Learn Foundation? We're a nonprofit organization that aims to empower through education by donating books, school supplies, and mental health resources to underprivileged students. Now, I want y'all to imagine growing up with no books of your own, no bedtime stories, no favorite characters, and limited access to knowledge. Well, this is actually the reality for a lot of students, and at Let's Learn, we aim to combat that. So why did we start? Our story started in 2018. I was 10 years old and had just moved with my family from Auckland, New Zealand to Austin, Texas. Now, being in a completely new continent and surrounded by completely new people, I faced things such as bullying and isolation for my accent and other cultural differences from my peers. During this difficult time, I found comfort in books, and they really helped me improve my mental health. The following year, I learned about the prevalence of book deserts in Texas, which are areas where students, most often low-income students from marginalized backgrounds, have limited access to books of their own. And considering the impact that books had had on me, I knew I had to make a change. So I started very small scale, just in 5th grade. You can see a photo on the left there. We started by running lemonade stands and going door to door selling cookies. And And since, over the past 6 years, we've donated over 60,000 books, 105,000 school supplies, and over 3,500 mental health kits to over 13,000 underprivileged students. We currently work with 13 school districts that cover over 350,000 students. We recently partnered with Active Minds, which is a leading national mental health nonprofit, to donate over 3,500 mental health kits to elementary students. And we've been grateful to have been featured on Forbes, PBS, Lady Gaga's Born This Way Foundation, and the JED Foundation. So how do we use digital for good? Shout out to Google. We actually use Google Workspace for nonprofits for our domain. Our website and our email is letslearninc.org, which helps establish our online presence. Through online donations and fundraisers, we've raised over $9,000. And through newsletters, we have ongoing contact, including calls to action with our stakeholders. Furthermore, with social media engagement, we're most active on Instagram and Facebook. We establish our online presence, and we have educational resource surveys and impact assessment forms to really help gauge our impact. So Sharks, our goal is to expand to every school district in Texas. And for that, I'll need your support. So firstly, we'll need help with networking opportunities and collaboration. Secondly, we'd love to use AI, to incorporate AI to optimize our outreach and our customer relationship management. And thirdly, support with funds and fundraising opportunities would greatly help benefit our organization. Thank you.
Great job. I was taught at a very young age by a family member of mine that readers are leaders and leaders are readers. And that was an actual life-changing piece of advice that I got. I've read well over 300 books now, and I have a soft spot in my heart for reading. So I'm really excited to have you up here. My question for you is, what have you done, aside from the school systems, what has been your main media channel to get the outreach and to find these areas that need more books?
We have there's an online database for Title I schools, which is a federally recognized program for underserved schools. We use that and we reach out to those schools through through our email and see if they'd want our support.
Have you used YouTube at all?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
My question is, it sounds like you want to expand within Texas, but have you considered or have a plan for expansion in other areas, especially some of the areas where the Sharks are all kind of located that may be able to help you in the future?
Yeah, so currently Texas has the highest rate of book deserts in the United States, which are areas where students have limited access to books. And we'd really like to expand to more of the rural, underserved communities in Texas, especially since we're located there. But we do have plans to expand in the future. Just Texas is so big right now. We'd love to expand within there first.
You mentioned assistance with AI, CRM, those kind of things. Where are you at in that part? Is that just a goal, or do you have something kind of in mind, a plan? Or are you looking for somebody to come in and kind of show you the right path for that?
Yeah, so currently we have a lot of manual work, like going through the database, finding the most underserved schools that we can impact. And we really think that like AI or other software like that could help reach out to those schools and streamline the process a bit.
What's the most valuable feedback you received since starting this project, and how did it change the way that you went ahead with it?
That's a great question. So one of our biggest projects is our annual Christmas drive, where we donate a wrapped book to every student in an entire elementary school, because many of them don't receive Christmas presents otherwise. So the first year we started it was 6th grade, and I was a big perfectionist. I was trying to wrap all the books by myself. And that year we actually didn't reach our quota of books we had to wrap, just because I had said no to all my volunteers wrapping the books, and I was trying to do everything myself. So the following year, we recruited volunteers early in the year. We currently have over 125 volunteers, mostly in Central Texas, that help us with operations, wrapping books, transportation of books, etc. And the following year, we recruited them earlier in the year. We sent out books to our different volunteers to wrap, and we were actually able to donate over 3,000 books just that year alone. And this past Christmas, 2 months ago, we donated over 5,000 books to over 5 elementary schools.
So I have a personal question. Out of the thousands of books you've read, which one is your favorite and why?
That's a great question, and I get that a lot, actually. That's hard to answer because my favorite book pretty much shifts after every new book I read. But I did mention in 5th grade, my favorite book series was probably the Percy Jackson series. Yeah, I just love them.
All right, those are great questions. So now you have the choice to pick a shark. Now keep in mind you can only have one shark, and so if more than one person wants to compete, so we're going to go ahead and have you pitch why you want to be a shark.
So at Influence Me Institute, we're more of an education. We do leadership, sales, and marketing. So in that aspect, I believe that we could help you with leadership, marketing, and sales to bring more books to the attention that you want to get in Texas.
Yeah, I would say we have some really good partnerships with organizations in Texas like Digital Marketer and some people like that are heavy in the AI space as well, and in the Web3 space. So anybody that's interested in going into the Discord space and Web3 from Web2, which would be a really important shift. And I do believe that books are the shortcuts to success. So it's helped me get to be a lead shark and be up here today. So I would just love to continue to help you serve that.
I am one state away from you. I am impassioned by your business, and I am already going into jails and trying to give books, and so it's right in line with kind of how I already operate. What I'd like to do is come in and do an analysis in 5 areas: finance, marketing, operations, sales, and support. Show you how we can implement AI in all of those areas and create a fully functional business that will grow beyond Texas into 50 states.
Just to echo what everyone else says, huge avid reader as well, running out of bookshelf space at my own home. So I love the project here, and say that I definitely have a lot of expertise in AI, both for consumers but also for corporate customers, and so would be delighted to help you, utilize AI to best serve you and to streamline your operations.
All right, and in terms of operational support, I can definitely help you with any of your portions from beginning to end. If you need any Google contacts, helpful there too. And lastly, I have a lot of contacts in Southern California, so if you do expand in the future, whether you pick me as a shark or not, I'm always happy to help in the future as well.
Great.
All right, there we go. That's right.
Chris, I'd love to work with you, and thank you so much for all your offers.
I won't take it personal.
All right, thank you so much, Rohan. What an incredible project with all those books. And hopefully I'm going to get some book recommendations from him.
Again, really quickly, I did just want to shout out 2 more of our viewers. We have Kabir and Naguna, who are tuned in and hyping up the chat. And if you guys want to be shouted out, you better be hyping up that chat, okay? Next in the tank, we have Emma Sangani Mirbaz, the founder of Action with Autism, a nonprofit organization geared towards guiding special needs parents throughout the journey of helping their children reach their full potential. Please welcome her into the tank.
Testing. Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying this wonderful summit so far. I know I am. Before I begin, I would like to extend my gratitude to the wonderful ICANHELP community for this wonderful opportunity. Also like to thank Carlos Ojeda for his mentorship. The 2 most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why, by Mark Twain. I was 13 years old when I found out I was autistic. Reflecting on my early childhood memories, I remember those years being filled with anxiety, confusion, and sadness. At the time, I didn't know that my ASD was affecting my social skills and my ability to fit in with my peers. While I believe that each of us is unique in our own way, there are common traits among children that shape culture and the social dynamics in today's society. My distinct traits and behaviors due to my ASD made me stand out, and I often felt excluded. Elementary school was particularly challenging for me. I vividly remember crying on my way home from school most days due to me feeling lonely and wondering why my peers didn't accept me. Deep down, I sensed that something about me was different, though I lacked the language or understanding to articulate it. I thought it must have been something I was doing wrong, or more so, rather, the fact that something was wrong with me. Despite the struggles, I was incredibly lucky to grow up in a deeply loving home. While I didn't have friends or playmates at school, I had fun, engaging playdates at home with my parents and other supportive adults. My parents also created a safe and loving environment filled with joy and laughter, including a reward box that was filled with toys that I liked, or more accurately, was obsessed with at the time. I didn't realize that during this moment, these structured play sessions were actually ABA, also known as Applied Behavior Analysis. I just knew I was having fun with family. Through my experiences and the work I've done since starting my nonprofit, I realized that not everyone has had the same experience with ABA. For those unfamiliar, ABA was developed in the 1960s by Dr. Ivar Lovaas, originally with the goal of reducing and eliminating undesirable traits through negative reinforcements for autistic individuals. I'm here to share how ABA has helped me develop essential communication skills, reduce harmful behaviors like elopement, and gain independence. It wasn't about compliance or changing who I was, but it was about empowering me to become articulate and express myself in the world through meaningful ways. Through our NPO, we aim to empower parents and caregivers of autistic individuals, raise awareness about the importance of early intervention, and provide a clear roadmap and resources for those who may lack access to them. Our goal is to collaborate with the Center of Autism and other organizations to share my personal story, offering hope and support to families of newly diagnosed individuals. What sets our NPO apart is our belief in the transformative power of personal stories. By emphasizing early interventions, focusing on the strengths of individuals with ASD, and helping them connect through their unique interests, we hope to empower the parents and educate them and caregivers across the autism spectrum, whether high or low functioning, and on how to build those strengths and navigate the outside world. I see my parents every day preparing me for life's journey ahead, and I want to help others do the same. Thank you.
Well done. Very good.
Thank you.
You want to ask the first question?
Sure. I'm still coming up with it. So.
Okay. We'll go to you, Chris.
So did you talk about the slimes at all?
So I actually, I didn't want to make my speech too long, but I actually, before I started my nonprofit in elementary school, what helped me cope with my loneliness and what helped me make some sort of friends at school or feel somewhat popular and not lonely is I got into slime because it was always on YouTube everywhere. YouTube was spreading the word of slime. And I decided to make it one time and I fell in love with it. And Lord and behold, I started selling it at school. My lunchbox was filled with slime. There are supplies all over my carpets. There still are to this day that won't come out. And I opened my own website right before COVID, February 1st of 2020, and I've maintained it and had it open since then.
And what have you done through the website just to?
I've sold over 1,000 slimes. I've had little like pop-up fairs. I have my own Shopify store. It's called mintyslimes.com, and the pop-up stores were actually really beneficial, like little market pop-ups, because it helped me connect with customers and learn like the business side. As when I'm older, I plan on having my own engineering firm, so it helped me get the business side of logistics.
Wow.
What are you looking for in a mentor?
In a mentor, I'm looking for someone right now. My biggest challenge is there are so many people who are autistic. About one of every 36 people are diagnosed on the spectrum, according to the CDC. And there's so many parents out there who struggle to find resources or good ABA companies. So I'm finding someone who can help me not only connect with the parents, but also keep them engaged where I can fully convey my resources.
What would you say is the biggest challenge that you've overcome throughout this process?
Other than sharing my story, my biggest challenge was probably trying to market it as I felt a little shy telling people I was autistic because of the stereotypes and prejudice people would picture in their minds. Since the spectrum is very high, people usually think of autism as people who can't speak, but the spectrum itself is very high. Luckily myself, I'm high functioning, but many people, they could range on the low functioning end or even somewhere in between. And some people, unfortunately, if they are on the higher end, it's easy for them to fall through the cracks because they could be quote unquote asymptomatic, and later on in life they don't realize the challenges, but if they don't get any help, then the obstacles catch up with them later on.
Very good.
Quick question. So my kids love slime, and I wanted to see, have you thought about maybe bringing your slime and putting a story behind it and introducing it to schools? Because there's a lot, kids obviously love slime, but having a meaningful story behind it where maybe you can connect with some of the schools and bring that into classrooms. Just like it helped you, there might help a lot of other kids. That could be a different avenue for you too.
I've definitely thought about it, because my nonprofit stemmed after I was able to create my business, and now I wanted to share my story because my slime business really helped me cope through elementary school, and it helped me it helped me develop my side of creativity and expression. So I've definitely thought about it before, and I feel like it would be pretty impactful.
So you mentioned you wanted to be an engineer. How does Action with Autism fit into that? What's your vision?
So personally, everyone on the autism spectrum, each person, like as I said, each person is unique. Most kids on the spectrum usually have their own special niche or something that they are highly fascinated and fixated in. For me, I've always asked a bazillion questions, and I'm always curious about how the makeshifts of everything works. And till this day, my mom told me that when I was younger, she was so scared I couldn't talk. Now it's the quite opposite. She wonders why I won't stop talking. But I love math and science. It's my thing. I get it naturally. History, not my biggest fan, but I love math and science, and it's my thing.
All right, now let's give her one sentence. What's your pitch?
One sentence? Or
Yeah, gotta keep it short.
So,
no pressure.
No pressure at all. I can't come up with one sentence. I'm like all over the place. So, no, personally with me, I believe that I have high ADHD, so I'm always all over the place. Like I have shiny object syndrome, like, oh, look, bear. But anyway, like I do firmly believe that I could help you with your vision and your mission and bring it to like where Action with Autism gets the awareness and necessary needs and bring it further to like fulfill that vision for you.
Simply put, this is a cause and something that's very close to my heart. It's close to my family. I have it in my own household. I understand autism, ASD, all of that from high functioning to low functioning. I have business partners with children in the same space, and so I really kind of understand and can see them in a different light than I think most people do. And I've been working with youth my entire adult life, and even in my elementary school years, I was working and helping the kids who were in special ed and had different, learning difficulties and learning challenges. So it's just an area that I'd love to contribute to and put my efforts towards.
I love the objective, the mission, and you're amazing.
Thank you.
Don't forget that. And I'm gonna give a shout out. Former president of Digital Marketers, who he's talking about, his name is Mark DeGrasse, and he just launched a podcast called Dads in Autism Land, and we're all connected with him. And so, regardless of who you choose up here, we're gonna support you. Yeah. So if you choose me, I would be more about being able to help you structure it, implement the CRM, make the website great. Maybe what she was going towards, which was integrating the two together, showing you how you can turn the slime business into something that actually promotes your message and tying them together, using that to fund the real big vision behind what you have.
I want to echo everything everyone else has said. Amazing work. I absolutely love your mission here and would love to help you kind of hone that more and be able to really build what you're doing here.
Same here. Great job on your presentation, and I love the cause behind it. As you can tell, I work with a lot of local schools where I'm at, and I do spend time volunteering and making sure that whether it's STEM-related products, I donate a lot to some of these schools. So I think helping to bring that vision and what has helped you in life, I'd love to see it in more classrooms and in schools, so I can try to help you with that.
All right, so now you got a decision. Go with your gut.
Thank you for all your offers. I'd love to work with you, Nisha.
Great work. Thank you, Emma.
Okay, I have some more shout outs. This is my favorite part. Well, like second favorite part. I'd like to shout out Ruchika, Chandler, DT, and Alice, who are all hyping up the chat and our changemakers. And then Anvita has some more.
And then we also have Alice, Melissa, Spies, I might be saying that wrong. And we have Josh, who's our wonderful creative director. He did all our graphics for this, so let's give him a huge shout out too. We could not have done this without him. And now we have our last changemaker in the tank, Tiffany Tu, the founder of Med About You, a nonprofit dedicated to spreading information about the body to teens across the nation.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Tu, and I'm so excited to be here on behalf of Med About You. So our mission statement is defined by this quote: crossing barriers through shared snippets of education about our bodies. And we are currently a team of 6 high school students stemming from my local community that, despite our varying career interests, are all incredibly passionate about spreading health awareness to teens all across the world despite varying circumstances. Why did I start Med About You? Well, personally for me, I grew up from a young age suffering from solar urticaria, which I called my allergy to the sun. I would not be able to go out during recess because my skin would blister up into immense rashes. I had myopia, I suffered from eczema, and what I found was that asking my providers, learning more about my conditions and my diseases, really helped me gain an insight on how to navigate my life and navigate this lifestyle in order to live healthily and to take care of my body. Additionally, while we do have health education programs instilled in middle school and in high school within my state and other states as well, they're not necessarily the best at fully engaging students with information in a digestible and easy and fun manner. And at least in my school, I always hear other students talking about, like certain symptoms or like having ADHD or this and that, but not necessarily understanding the mechanisms of these diseases, the mechanisms of these conditions, and what they need to do to seek treatment and to seek help and just to get a better understanding of what it is that their body is suffering from. And I also do some work in some underserved neighborhoods, and especially in those neighborhoods where there's already a lack of health equity and an immense distrust when it comes to seeking out providers. It is even more prevalent that we reach those teens who do not feel confident enough to ask questions about their health and about their bodies to others. So far, we are kind of strictly online, and we have developed a virtual community using these informational posts with around 950 plus followers, and we've received a lot of positive verbal feedback throughout our posts, whether it be in line or in person or online, about people saying, wow, like I really learned about this. I didn't know I had this, actually. And we've had some posts go viral as well, and we have an overall reach of 7,000 plus students. As for future goals, I think in the maybe next few months, we really do want to develop a booklet that we can put in the offices and projects of local nonprofits such as Equal Hope, which is a nonprofit that I am heavily involved in, as well as the local schools and their nurses' offices. These would just be pamphlets saying prevalent teen conditions that teens you need to know from A to Z, which would have fun infographics, not too much terminology, so it is digestible. And we also want to get more out into our community, do some more health drives, and increase discussion, because right now we are getting some feedback and we are communicating to our audience, but what we really want to do is have that conversation, and we're looking forward to doing so through Discord, as well as using the new feature for Instagram where they have those Instagram chats. And thank you so much to Digital4Good and ICANHELP for providing me with this opportunity to be here on behalf of my team. Thank you so much.
Fantastic job. I guess my question for you is, through content creation, do you have a content creation strategy and kind of process that you're going out there to try to spread outreach? Do you have a kind of a marketing plan in place for your content?
So far, we primarily operate on Instagram. We do have some TikToks. I did realize that when we posted Reels, they would be able to hit a lot more people and a larger audience. I think that is one thing that we have on our agenda, to post more of these Reels, especially because now our generation has a very short attention span. So these videos are a really easy way for us to get engaged. So far, I think we have been steadily growing. We've never been able to have that exponential growth. I think it's really definitely hard to go viral, but that is something that we're looking at improving on.
Excellent. That's really important. Cool.
Can you provide some detail in terms of where you get your information or data for your content, for your pamphlets? Do you partner with medical like medical partners, or are you doing online research? Can you just provide a little more?
Us and our team are doing a lot of online research. We browse through like a lot of like PubMed, and also a lot of people on our team are heavily interested in STEM as well. So they have a little bit of like that research background, going through some research papers, and again, making the content digestible. I also have like my mom as support. She is a nurse practitioner, so a lot of times if I want to go to her and ask her about a specific condition that I think that she thinks would be really good to share out, I can seek her help as well.
So 2 questions. Are you incorporated? Do you have plans of that? Like, where are you at? Where are you trying to go?
So right now we just got registered this year as a 501c3 nonprofit, and what we really want to do right now is to get into those local Chicago schools. I think it's really hard to adapt into like a health curriculum per se, but that's why we want to start with those like pamphlets, just getting our names out there, because right now we have mainly had an online presence, but what we want to do is make sure that we are targeting those underserved neighborhoods and those low-income schools.
I would say, what is your biggest target market and why them?
It's definitely, like I just said, those teens that don't feel confident going to their providers. They don't really feel motivated to know too much about their health, and allowing them to see the beauty of being more conscious, increasing that health literacy. I actually serve on a council at the nonprofit that I was talking about. And through that experience, I was able to learn, and I heard from other teens saying that, one of my friends hadn't been to her pediatrician in around 5 years because she didn't feel comfortable enough. Whenever she went, she felt like she wasn't getting heard. And her concerns, she could never really seek out her concerns. And that's definitely the target demographic that I want to target.
I just one last quick question. Out of the people that you've built your community with, the 950 people that are following you, and the messaging and some of the outreach that you've done, what's been the common response or question that you've gotten from people that have connected with you and seen your content?
I think definitely one of the questions is why. So I think we need to make that a little bit more evident, explain like the purpose behind Med About You. We did have like an introductory post when we first started, but it's been a while. So I definitely do need to make a post reminding them of that. But overall, like the response that we get is, oh, thank you for sharing this information. I really enjoy whenever you guys post and looking at this, looking at these little snippets. And I definitely did learn something today.
Okay, sorry, last question. What are some potential risks or challenges that you've already currently faced or you think that you might be facing later?
Some of the challenges that we have faced was definitely getting people to kind of see us as like credible, especially because for a long time we were online and we currently are online, but like we would email a bunch of different organizations in some of our local schools, and either we would get no response or they would respond, but they would be hesitant. But like how we're working on addressing this is by pushing ourselves out there, seeking opportunities like attending this summit and meeting all of you guys, which is wonderful, and getting that support behind us.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to go ahead and make my pitch. Good luck following this up. So as far as content creation goes, positioning, PR, this is something I've spent 20 years perfecting and learning about how to position myself as the authority, as the expert, as the thought leader in the space, from branding to marketing strategy to content creation and all the skills that need to be stacked along there. This is something I think I would be able to help you really position yourself as the go-to resource for this information on the social platforms.
Thank you.
I'm just going to pitch him because his wife created a platform called Crunchy Cottage. It's all how would you describe it? Just like natural wellness products, right? And I think that he would be a really good fit for you because he is already tied in the space. I'm going to be honest. I think I would be able to help you, but I think I wouldn't be able to help you as well as him.
I'm going to pitch myself. I would love to help you get more engaged on different types of platforms, as well as probably partner with members of the medical community to ensure that we are kind of getting some more trust behind your posts. You know, the world is full of misinfo, as we're very aware, so we want to make sure that people are able to kind of trust and support what you guys are putting out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be able to support you in overall program strategy method, and then also just in terms of the credibility that you're talking about, maybe even finding networking opportunities where you can actually have conversations more in person so you can promote yourself a little more.
So I'd be able to help you promote the community more, but I also believe that since Adrian wanted to go first, I think, I do have to bring up Adrian because right now I think he's the most excited about working with you, so it's all about him.
Okay. Thank you all for offering. I'll work with Adrian.
All right, thank you so much, Tiffany. That is so exciting. We absolutely loved having you guys in the Shark Tank. Let's hear it one more time for all of our sharks.
And, ooh, that was a long one. And can we give one more round of applause to our incredible changemakers? I know I speak for myself, but also all of us, that where their creativity, passion, and dedication has truly blown us away today.
Yes, and with that, we would love to come open up our favorite part of the day, the People's Choice Award. I'll move away from it. So if you guys want to scan this QR code, you can vote for the changemaker who you thought was the most impactful, the most inspiring, that resonated with you the most, which changemaker spoke to you. And so this is something we do every year, and we will soon find out which changemaker is going to get this honor.
Get out of here, guys.
So we'll give you guys a couple minutes to scan that code.
And the project in person with the most votes is going to get the very highly coveted People's Choice Award. We have it over there, ready to be written out and everything. We can't wait to hear how our changemakers inspired all of you.
All right, I'm gonna vote myself, guys.
Yeah, oh wait, I forgot about that.
There you go.
Guys, who do I vote? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Say, for anybody that's watching at home, make sure you guys are voting as well at home. You're watching online, and make sure you put those votes in now. We're going to tally those up.
So excited. I hope
one picture. I hope. We're good.
Everybody looking?
Yes.
Oh.
You guys are good to go. Sure. In the meantime, we'd love to welcome our annual head of people, Selena Camosa, to talk a little bit about her story and why she joined Digital4Good. So, you guys are please give a round of applause to Selena.
Hi everyone, I'm Selena Camosa. As Anvita said, I am the annual head of people here for Digital4Good. And when I was, for some context, I am the youngest of 5 kids. I have 4 older brothers, so we've gotten to so many different, we'll call it adventures. This one was not really an adventure, but more of an experience and definitely a lesson learned. When I was in elementary school, one of my older brothers got approached online on a little pocket Minecraft edition on his phone. He had just got a phone like maybe 2-3 months ago, so he wasn't very versed in online and the etiquette or the dangers of it. He was approached by a 40-plus-year-old man who was using the picture of a missing 13-year-old boy and portraying himself as that boy. It was only discovered by my mother after she had done her weekly phone check, asking who this person is, how he knows him, and she then used actually Google reverse image search to check for the image and found the article about the missing boy. She then ended up getting the FBI involved, making a report, and by the end of the entire ordeal, which is about a year and a half later, they found a ring of around 15 predators in the area. So with this being something that I grew up with, I was around 8 years old when this happened. This was something that really formed my opinion on online and digital safety as a whole. So I got the opportunity to apply here. I was a marketing specialist last year, and that is why I'm so dedicated to this company, because I really think that we can make a big difference. And with everyone here, this is just proving that we can build a community and make that difference, hopefully worldwide at some point. Okay. Thank you. Now we'll move to something lighter. The annual internship program. At Digital4Good, we empower students to be a part of the solution. When students are motivated and given the resources for their aspirations, they have unlimited potential. As students, our generation is in a whole different situation than any other generation has been in. Students hold so much more power than they can see. You don't have to be the smartest, the most talented, or the best student to be able to make a change and have a huge impact on the world around you. You have the potential to do so many amazing things, and our mission is to encourage and support those fantastic endeavors, as you can see with our changemakers over here. Digital4Good has a space for you, from public relations to digital media and all things marketing. We offer internship opportunities year-round. You can be either annual or seasonal, depending on if you're a high school or middle student. You have to join our annual side, sorry. And if you are a college student, you can join any side, but seasonal is definitely more geared towards your major specific areas if you'd like to join that side. Our internship positions are open to anyone in school 13 years or older. And if you're interested in joining our incredible family, please feel free to talk to any of our staff, anyone over here, usually in the front, or email us at internships@icanhelp.net. Here's just some pictures from our last couple of meetups. They're fun. Thank you. I'll give it back over to you guys. Here you go. Take it.
All right, thank you so much, Salita. We would love to see all of you students here join our family and be a part of the solution. And now I would love to introduce our spotlight speaker, Paul Peters.
Paul is a dedicated leader, best-selling author, and the founder of multiple organizations, including Covenant Case Management Services, the Nehemiah Project, Covenant of Love, which serve individuals facing intellectual disabilities, mental health challenges, addiction, homelessness, and more. With a background in psychology, military service, chaplaincy, and mentorship, Paul is passionate about empowering others, spreading hope, and helping people discover their purpose. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Paul Peters.
Okay, several challenges. One, to speak with a microphone, do a clicker, and be within 5 minutes. So I will do my best as a public speaker. And nice thing, I come bearing gifts. So I've got a couple quick questions. So let me show you the gifts. I don't know if all of you are candy lovers, but I have candy. And I'll do my best with the clicker. I took the time yesterday just to listen to everybody because it's very important that this is all about the students here. I'm at the second half of my life. I won't tell you how old I am. You all are at the first half. Us adults have been where you are at. And I love that you all do internships and mentoring, because that's how you get connected to the future and what you want in life. So I have a quick question for a prize. Who knows, first person to raise their hand, what IT stands for? Information technology. Butterfinger, Skittles? I'll take Skittles. Okay. So it's interesting, and I've been practicing digital for good. I wanted to keep saying digital for life. So it's digital for good. What is digital as it pertains to IT? Information, digital. It's just in the technology form. When you think about digital for good, it's taking technology with parentheses around good. Because of what the young lady just said. You've got people out there that are using this information. The internet connected us beyond all measures. We now are one per se in this world. So information can be used for good or it can be used for evil. And so I want to go ahead and start. I think I'll do this right. Discovering your purpose. Using the IT internet to help discover your purpose. Why is purpose so important? Who knows? Who knows what this is? It's a pen. Who knows its purpose?
To write.
To write. Everything created has a purpose. If you know your purpose, you know why you were created, and you know what you're supposed to do with it. My mission, my purpose, to help others find their purpose. So let me pull this out real quick. Be generous with me on my time. What is this? Is it good or bad? Who makes the choice if it's good or bad? Yes, information is out there. How we use it can be good or bad. Our focus has to be on good because ultimately we want a positive outcome. And we all have that choice. Passion is vital to finding your purpose. If you're passionate about something, that's going to drive you to what you desire. I love the presentations. Who's the young lady who spoke on autism? Thank you so much. I have a son with autism, so that was near and dear to my heart. We are all driven by something that drives us, which is our passion. It could be a child with autism. It could be something, I was going to go off script just for a second. More than 40 years ago, I was homeless, I was addicted, and I didn't have a job. 40 years later, because I had a mentor and because I made the right choices, I now am a best-selling author, have my own TV show, run a successful business in North Carolina, have a nonprofit and a foundation. That all is because I found my passion, I found my purpose. And your purpose is found in what you're good at and what you love to do. And then you put that to service to help other people. And when you do that, and you chase after your purpose, you who are young, you who are just starting, and you embrace your passion, and you embrace your purpose and your strengths, and you serve your community, is it going to be hard? Yeah, it's going to be very hard. But it's well worth it. Because had I not gone after what I was passionate for, I would be dead now. Because I did not tell you, not only was I homeless and addicted, I was suicidal. So there's hope out there. You have plenty of people out here giving you the guidance and the direction to find what your calling is. Like a pen, be that purpose, be what you're passionate about, and serve this community. Digital4Good is a mentor guiding you in what you need to accomplish. Thank you so much. And I'd like to give my books out to 3 students. So, Karen? Come on. I'm going to give you the first one, which is Discover and Embrace Your Life Purpose. It's got the puzzle pieces because we discover our purpose in many, many ways. For you, young man. Come on up. This is the best-selling book that I co-authored with Jack Canfield. It's called Success Redefined. Who wants wisdom? Come on. This is a book I wrote because as I've gotten older, it's not money, it's not possessions, it's wisdom to make the best choices in life that makes one successful. There you go. Thank you.
Here, can I give this back to you? Thank you. Sorry. Okay, can we give one more big round of applause to Mr. Paul Peters, please? And we had a break scheduled, but instead of doing a break, I'm going to do an Energizer for you all. Now, I'm a student council kid, so I have plenty of these stashed in my back pocket at all times. I need all of you to stand up for me. We're going to play a game, okay? And there is going to be a winner, and I'll find a prize for whoever the winner ends up being. Okay, so basically, you guys know head, shoulders, knees, and toes, right? Okay, so we're going to play sort of that, but like not really. It's called, well, I don't think there's actually a name for it, but when I say something, you're gonna touch it, and if you touch the wrong thing or you like move too slow, then you're out of the game, okay? And I need everybody to snitch on your neighbors, okay? Because we can only have one winner. It's gonna be touch your nose, so we can do a practice round. Touch your nose, touch your bows, elbows, bows, toes, close. Okay, everybody got it? Those are the 4 things. Nose, bows, toes, close. Okay, and I'm just gonna say it, I'm not gonna do it, so you guys can't like Simon Says me, okay? Okay, everybody ready? Yes? Yes? What'd you say? Okay, all right, nose. I don't know, I already see a lot of people that are out, so I need neighbors to be snitching on people. Okay, touch your bows, touch your toes, touch your clothes, touch your toes. Bows, nose, close, toes, close, nose, bows, toes, toes, close, toes. Oh, I don't know. That was really slow reaction time from this middle group. I don't know about that one. Okay, everybody ready? If you're out, just take a seat for me. Touch your nose, touch your toes, touch your bows, touch your nose, close, bows, toes, nose, bows, toes, close, toes. Guys, you're really good at this. Okay, nose, 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 bows, close, toes, bows, nose, close, toes, bows. Yo, okay, wait, guys, I need you to like seriously snitch on your neighbors. If you're out, if you're sitting down, you need to be watching everybody around you like a hawk to make sure that they're not cheating, okay? We don't do cheaters in here. Okay, ready? Touch your nose, touch your toes, touch your bows, touch your clothes, nose, toes, close, bows, toes, close, bows, nose, close, toes, nose, bows. Anybody? Did I get anybody? Did I get anybody? Okay, if you're still standing, can you come join me on stage, please? Okay, hopefully not too many. I'm gonna jump down here. And now everybody that's at home watching is gonna see if you're cheating, okay? So you can't cheat. All right, touch your nose, touch your bows, close. I don't know, guys. Bows? Those aren't your bows.
You said close. Yeah, you said close.
Oh, okay. Catching me, catching me. Okay, nose, bows, close, toes. Nose, bows, close, toes, toes. Oh, I don't know, I got a couple of y'all. Close, toes, nose, bows. All right, audience, what do we think? Who do we think is the winner? All of them. All of them. Okay, wait, I can't give it. Okay, one more. Nose, close, toes, bows, bows. I got you. Okay, ready? If I got you, you can sit down for me, okay? Nose, close, bows, toes, nose, close, bows, toes, toes. You're out. Bows.
What?
Close, nose, toes, bows, close, toes, nose, close, bows, toes. Oh my goodness. Toes.
Emily, we can give them all gifts. They can get the first pick on the Google Prize.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that's your prize. Congratulations to all of these lovely people.
At lunch, Google, you guys give me first pick. Google has prizes, so at lunch, you guys give me the first ones to pick your gift from.
Okay, for our viewers at home, they are first pick on the Google Prize at lunch. Okay. That's a very, very impactful reward, okay? And make sure that all of you guys have gotten your votes in for People's Choice Award. Okay, can I get a thumbs up if you're here? And then virtual viewers, can I have you do a thumbs up in the chat? Oh, so it's closed actually.
Okay.
Go ahead, Anvita.
All right, so we're so excited to invite back up Executive Director Kim Carr, Lead Shark Adrian Boisel, and annual head of people Selena Camosa to present the award along with board member Alexa Negretti.
Yeah.
Okay. First, I just want to say amazing job to all of our changemakers. You all are amazing people, and I'm so proud of you. I'm sure everyone in this room was so impressed. And I want a big drum roll for this year's Digital for Good 2025 People's Choice Award is
Rohan.
Rohan. Come on up here for your prize. Perfect. Congratulations, the people choice. The peoples have voted. Way to inspire people. I'm hoping we had some people taking pictures.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Rohan.
I love it.
Okay, off.
No.
All right.
And now we would love to introduce Kaleo Knight, a 16-year-old singer-songwriter and a contestant for season 23 of American Idol, which is starting on March 9th. So all of you better be tuning in, okay?
And Kaleo is a competitive hula dancer and attends Japanese weekends as part of family heritage. Today she'll be performing an original, Running Cold. So let's give her a warm welcome.
Hey everybody. Glad to be here. Another day has passed. It's finally over at last. What's with this afterthought? I keep getting caught up in it all. The storm is brewing. What the hell am I doing? Have I lost my mind? Say my name, mirage in the rain, a persistent reminder through my window pane. Sunshiny ray, a radiated brain. When silver turns to gold, a story is foretold. Another river running cold. It's an ignorant bliss, a blistering bath. I look through the looking glass, see how they act and they gravitate towards the pain. I can't seem to explain how the globe keeps on spinning now. A record begins somehow, keeping my thoughts of you. My vision is falling through. Say my name, mirage in the rain, a persistent reminder through my window pane. Sunshiny ray, a radiated brain. When silver turns to gold, a story is foretold. Say my name, mirage in the rain, a persistent reminder through my window pane. Sunshine and rain. When silver turns to gold, a story is foretold. Another river running cold.
Can we get one more huge round of applause for her, please? Now, I don't know about you all, but I think that might have rivaled our halftime show performance last night, maybe, I don't know. Up next, we have the Click with Purpose Policy for Change and Digital Citizenship panel. This discussion will focus on how policy and corporate social responsibility can help us foster positive change and responsible digital citizenship.
Please join me in welcoming our guests, Meredith O'Connor, Jennifer Frommer, and Zoe Darme, along with our annual marketing lead intern, Ria Rajesh, as the moderator.
Hey everyone, how are we doing today? I hope you guys are enjoying the day because I know I am. So if you guys didn't catch my name is Ria Rajesh and I'm a sophomore in high school and I'm also annual lead marketing intern here at Digital4Good x #ICANHELP. So we're basically going to be doing the Click with Purpose panel, and these are the wrong speaker notes. And I just want to go and pass the mic and have everyone introduce themselves before we get started. So,
hi. Well, thank you all for coming. My name is Meredith. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you, Kim, for having us and everyone for making this happen.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm at Sony Music.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and it's good to see you again. I'm from Google.
Oh, and then we have one more.
Sorry about that. How you doing, everybody? My name's Rahan Staten.
Okay, so. Yeah, I can. 1 second, everybody. Can I get my phone?
What do you see?
Yeah, so it's like an internship program where people come together to. She's definitely here, yeah.
Having some technical difficulties. Just 1 second, guys.
That's okay. How about we just start and each of us can give you a little bit about what we think digital citizenship means while you get your slides pulled up.
Awesome.
Does that work?
Okay, so can everyone hear me okay? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So, thank you all so much for being here. Of course, I introduced myself. We are getting ready to kick off our panel where we will be talking about topics such as digital citizenship, social impact, and positivity. We have an amazing lineup of panelists, as you heard, and we're gonna have them answer some questions and make sure you guys also think of some questions at the end for a quick Q&A session. So we're now getting started, and for those of you who aren't aware of what CSR is, that is something we're going to be talking about. CSR stands for Corporate Social Responsibility, which is the concept where companies and businesses integrate social environmental concerns in their operations. So we're going to start off with some general questions and then move on, if we have extra time, to more specialized questions. So we'll start from this side. So we're going to start off by discussing the role of digital platforms in CSR.
Yeah.
So how can digital platforms and social media be leveraged to create meaningful corporate social responsibility initiatives that foster policy changes and promote digital citizenship?
Well, first of all, thank you. This is my favorite question that could ever be asked, ever. My favorite thing to talk about, because a lot of times it can be just like a car can cause tragedy, it can also get you where you want to go. And in my experience, I've found that digital and social media can be a similar thing as with the AI policy discussion that we had yesterday at Cooley. And so one thing that I think is, in my experience, very pertinent was the realization that when I had, after I had a following and after my first song went viral and went on the radio and stuff like that, I didn't realize that there would be so many of the millions of people that were listening actually also were going through bullying as well. And like, you know, when you grow up, I guess in maybe a small middle school, you don't realize that, like, you know, middle school is actually not that fun for a lot of people, but it definitely did feel isolating. So I think because of digital advocacy, or, you know, positive social advocacy through the second song that I had out there, was the first time I kind of realized, well, this can be actually kind of a vehicle, and that sort of caught on and struck a chord with a lot of people, and that's been my experience ever since.
That's wonderful to hear. I know I would totally relate to like the whole middle school thing. Definitely can be very hard. I know I'm not the only one here. So would you like me to repeat the question for you? Okay.
Hi, everybody. How's everyone today? Good? Good. So, hi, I'm Matt. As I mentioned, I work with a lot of, I'm not an artist. Well, I kind of am, but not really. But I work with a lot of artists that are very, very famous. And I've been with a lot of them since they first came up. Artists like Chloe Bailey, Lil Nas X, Miley Cyrus. And I can tell you based on, how they live their lives. And, a lot of them, even, when they first started coming up, some of them were, as famous as they were, people are always have something really horrible to say. And nobody, it's kind of like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Well, that's the opposite of social media because people just love to run off their mouths about, comments about somebody looks like they gain weight or somebody's gay or whatever, people want to comment about. And I think, working with artists that are really young, like your age or younger even when they first start, using social media has been an amazing tool for them to say who they are, speak their truths, and to be very vocal about, what it is that they're taking a stand with. So an example I like to talk about is like artists and their pets, because artists love their pets, and there's a lot of opportunity to do good and figure out what just happened in LA. A lot of our artists got very, very involved in terms of using their social media platforms in terms of giving back and donating to shelters and utilizing, Petco had a really cool thing where they put missing pets and people together, and a lot of artists spoke about that. So I think, as horrible as people can be by bullying and name calling, you have to kind of rise above it and figure out the best ways to use social media in a corporate social responsibility way to help and give back.
Thank you so much.
Can you please repeat the question?
Of course. So the question was, how can digital platforms and social media be leveraged to create meaningful corporate social responsibility initiatives that foster policy change and promote digital citizenship?
Thank you. So interesting background about me. I'm an attorney now in New York, but when I was an undergrad, I was a full-time garbage man all 4 years of undergrad. And I remember when I was on the ground, I just had so many ideas of what this could look like for just let's just say a wide variety of different initiatives that I felt. Because I guess taking a step back, a lot of the folks I worked with were formerly incarcerated. But fun fact, I was actually a horrible high school student. And so I ended up working at this company because I had no other options. However, despite their background to be ex-felons or et cetera, whatever you want to call them, they ended up just teaching me so much, right? And then just through one way or another, I ended up finding my way back to school, ended up graduating, et cetera, just graduated from Harvard Law School. But thank you. Thank you. But I just remembered I had all these ideas, but there was so much bureaucracy that I couldn't really implement them into the company or even get a chance to talk to the right people. But when I got into Harvard in 2020, my story ended up going really viral. Oh, garbage man made to Harvard. And I just think one of the greatest ways I felt social media impacted me was I was able to skip a lot of bureaucracy, go right to the CEOs, go right to the presidents, go right to the vice presidents. And it gave me a platform to just kind of just be 5 steps ahead of the game in terms of just breaking through that bureaucracy. And I would say in short, I would say skipping bureaucracy is one of the greatest ways that we can utilize social media as a tool to start creating these initiatives. And fun fact, now that same garbage company now has an initiative that helps some of these folks get a chance to go to school.
Hard act to follow. I was not a garbage man at Northwestern University, but we should talk about containerized trash here in New York. Big policy plug for that. Switching gears a little bit, I think what I'll say is a lot of the times when we're talking about digital citizenship and young people and corporate social responsibility, we often are talking about a safety conversation. We're here because tomorrow's Safer Internet Day. And that conversation is incredibly important. I had some conversations with you talking about what I do in my own family to set screen time limits and parental tools and things like that. that. And we often focus there when we're talking about digital citizenship and platforms and young people. But I think the other conversation that is just as important is young people have other rights aside from safety too, and they're also important. You have access to information rights. You have the freedom of assembly. You have freedom of speech. And I think it's so important to balance conversations about young people's safety, so critically important, with young people's rights to access to information. Because as you grow older and as you take a more active role in your community, all of you are probably even more active than so many older adults that I know. And I think it's really, really helpful to hear your voices and say how important it is for you to be reading the news, to be getting information, to be evaluating whether that information you see from your friends, from your family, and other places where you're consuming content, is that true? Is that accurate? Is that something that you think accords with your belief systems? So I hope that we can have some of those conversations about your participation on social media, not just in keeping you safe, but active participants of a strong and informed community.
Thank you so much. Give them a round of applause. Okay, so moving on to the next question. How do you believe companies can balance profitability with responsibility of advocating for social change, especially when it comes to the digital space?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for that question. I think that, to my surprise and to many others in my professional circle at the time, there was a certain level of profitability that came with and sustainability in terms of a model that focused on how can you use your platform for good. And when I first had the idea to create the song "The Game" after having a following get established, I heard some pushback where people were unsure of how it might be received, and I think there is this sort of synergy between creating a message that people relate to and that can help people get through something, and also seeing people would come to my meet and greets and we would sell out shows around the world, and it would be really an interesting experience because of there was a certain level for me that was surprised as well, because I was almost advised from different teams at different points that it might not have that response. And it was kind of new in 2014 to do that. So I think CSR is so important, not just to help other people, but to create a business that can really be at the forefront of positive change, because that does lead to success. And that's been my experience.
Thank you so much.
I think companies, as I mentioned, I'm at Sony Music, and we do a great deal we match any sort of contribution to any sort of give back opportunity that anyone's interested in doing. So they'll match dollar for dollar. We also have partnerships with a lot of incredible organizations all over the world, whether it's artist give back programs or helping the city with trees and planting trees and homelessness. And I mean, there's a wide array of opportunities for all of us to get involved in. And I think that when you see companies really walking the walk, that's where you really believe in something like that. I think now they're not doing a great job because I can't exactly remember the car, but there is a car. It's Subaru. Okay, Subaru has this really great initiative, I think, where if you purchase a Subaru, they're going to give X amount of whatever the car costs to a specific charity. And I think that's about the environment. So I think, if you really kind of dig deep and see which corporations are taking a stand and really making a difference, those are the ones that I think everybody else will want to get behind. No offense to Apple, but I don't who doesn't have an iPhone, who's not spending all kinds of money on Apple? I don't know what they're doing. So I think that we need to kind of look at who's making a difference in the world.
Thank you so much.
I think it's interesting because I think throughout school, whether it was undergrad or law school, I always felt like there was always a conversation between doing the right thing or maximizing profits. And it's also I guess there's this idea that this idea can't be intertwined. And again, I hate to kind of be redundant, referencing the trash company, but I remember even when I went viral, and then even after that, I guess for context, when I went viral, there was a picture of me in front of this garbage can with their name on it. And then after that, they ended up creating some of these other initiatives. And it was interesting because after that, I literally start seeing like state legislators reach out to this company. It starts like there's a senator who reached out. Now there's a governor who reached out to this company. And I suppose I'm just simply saying like, it seems as though like from my experience, like when a community or society sees an organization, a person do something that they find to be meaningful, people tend to get behind that company or organization. And so I guess I just tend to think, I guess in the profitability question, I just think CSR can probably even, there's an argument that it can even help maximize profits.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. So just picture in your mind a company that you have a negative sentiment for. You don't have to name it. Just think of which one. So you've got a company in your mind. Do you want to work for this company? No. Do you want to buy products from that company? No. Do you want to own shares in that company? No. Okay. So I think that profitability and the health of a company, they don't, and also corporate and social responsibility, these things don't need to be mutually exclusive, right? If your brand is associated with some good sentiment, whether that comes from a great product, I love using this product, or because you think that company is on the whole doing net positive things for the world, that means that you can hire the best talent, right? It means that that people want to be associated with that brand. They want to be associated with those products. And so I think to what Rahan was saying, that there is an element where this makes good business sense as well. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. On the flip side, what Jennifer mentioned is, oh, I have this, I like this product and I have it in my pocket. I really like it, but what does that company really stand for? I think there is a lot of power in what a customer base expresses as their desires or their wants or what they expect out of a company. I think there is a lot of power in shareholders as well for publicly traded companies. And so that would be one of my recommendations to all of you, is just to think about where you spend your money and where you associate your own personal brand with certain types of products. So I'm really proud to work for Google. I will shamelessly say that I have 2 Pixel phones. They're behind me because I think I really think the product's great and it's good value for money for me personally. But so I like to think of, am I an ambassador for my company not only because I work here, but also because I'm a customer and a shareholder.
Thank you. That's a great way to look at it. So our third general question is going to be about empowering youth through technology. So what role do you think businesses play when it comes to equipping young people to using digital tools responsibly and effectively advocating for change?
Yeah. So I guess 2 things is, one, it's if you're in a position of influence or power, I think it's sort of an opportunity and almost a responsibility to do the right thing, in addition to the fact that there has been a increase in, let's say, company support or fan engagement or customer engagement, whatever it is, because of the company that's like, oh, you're doing something good. I know that Jen and I had started a program from the mental health center that I work at and run, and what we do is we work with schools to bring mentorship programming where there's an incentive structure, similar to what Google and Digital4Good is doing, where people who use their platform, whether you're a student, a high school student, regardless of what age you are. I think incentive structures in companies across, Fortune 500 companies, nonprofits, et cetera, when there's some incentivization to use your platform for, a positive initiative, I think that kind of creates a new structure of what are we motivated to do with our voices. And I think that incentive structures can be provided by businesses, as we're seeing here today, whether it's mentorship programming or whether it's a CSR initiative. I think that those are really good ways that can help.
I totally agree.
Thank you.
Yes, well, I'll just, since Meredith brought it up, I'll provide a little bit of more context about it because it's relevant to this room and to the question. So we're starting a platform which is called You Are Not Alone, Take Care. And it's actually a place where it's sort of like the nickname of it is office hours. And we're opening up a environment where you guys can come in and like get help in anything you need help, whether it's mental health, whether it's mentoring and how to work in the music industry. We'll have a lot of executives that could give a lot of coaching. So it's like coaching, mentoring in both the music industry and profession, as well as mental health mentoring and therapy. And so we're going to be opening that up this spring. And the reason we thought of it, which leads back into your question, is because we want to, I have a lot of experience in helping a lot of people from a mental health perspective, as Meredith does from music and mental health as well. And we just want to like open up our doors and help kids like you guys because we feel that there isn't something like that out there that companies are providing. And so the reason we're doing it is because we see a lack in terms of what's available. That's like, it's not about getting credit. Like I was a part of a mentoring program where it was all about like, you had to get a certain grade to get in. No, like this is like open to everybody. And we want to just make sure that, whoever needs help is going to get the help. And it's not about like credits to graduate or anything like that. So we feel that there's like definitely a void and companies aren't really doing all that they can do to open up their doors and have these office hours for letting kids in and helping.
Great. Could you repeat the question one more time? Sorry.
Of course. What role do you think businesses play when it comes to equipping young people to use digital tools responsibly and effectively advocate for change?
Yeah. So I think, one is we need to build together with young people for the products and services that you use and love. And so last time we did a session called Product Manage for a Day where we broke you all into groups and really kind of co-designed with young people ideas for new products. And a lot of the features that came from Digital4Good participants were things that we had already been thinking of. So it was a great way for us to understand and connect with things that you would already be interested in. So I think it's important to have CSR programming, we have Google.org. I'm sure for those of you who are with law firms, you have pro bono programs and things like that. But I also think in addition to that type of programming, it's also important for companies to co-create, listen to their user base. If that user base is significantly young people, then to do what we call user experience research together with young people to see how they're interacting with the products and services and features, and make sure that they're truly beneficial for you all.
Thank you. So we're going to move on to more specific questions now, starting off with Rayhan. Rayhan, as you mentioned, your journey from being a janitor to a Harvard Law student highlights your perseverance and your purpose. How do you think businesses can amplify similar stories to inspire their workforce and encourage employees to contribute to CSR initiatives?
I think there's like, from my experience, there's like companies tend to like fall in like one or two like buckets. One tends to be like, I would just say connected for lack of a better word, and I'll say the others tend to be like less connected or lack of connection. Connected just meaning like in certain companies there is like this feeling of like caring, I suppose, about the improvement and the betterment of either their community, workforce, etc. And then there's like companies who just, for whatever reason, like fall out of that category, right? And I guess, like, I suppose, and just, can I hear the question one more time for the second part?
How do you think businesses can amplify stories similar to yours to inspire their workforce and encourage employees to contribute to CSR initiatives?
And then I guess like going back to like amplifying stories, I guess where the connectedness comes in at, I suppose like for those companies who are in tune with their workers or in tune with their communities, like they actively just have the power like to do that. Meaning like, I almost like, I guess I'm trying not to like oversimplify the question, but I tend to like find like that just tends to be like a choice, right? And in my opinion, like when companies choose to do it and can do it, I guess it goes back to maybe my first point. I tend to just think communities recognize companies that do support the community. I do think like when coworkers or colleagues see one person get amplified, that does tend to create a spirit within the company itself and tends to create momentum. And so I actually just honestly just think the results kind of just tend to like speak for itself when companies like just choose to do it. And I just think the benefits will follow.
I totally agree with you. So our next question is for Meredith. So as a songwriter and, you know, someone who's into mental health, have you received feedback on how your work in the mental health related field, such as music or content, has impacted your audience on a deeper level? And how has that influenced you as you move forward in your career and your goals?
Yeah, thank you. I think most of my inspiration in terms of like what my advocacy has been was from fans and music listeners back when I was touring and when I was an artist. And I have to say, going back to the level of surprise, it came down to just me not knowing like how many other people felt this like feeling of, let's say, it's hopelessness or alone, without realizing that there is hope and that things do get better. And you know, and that was such a common phenomenon. And I think a lot of messages saying like this song changed my life or it saved my life, or like just these really intense messages of how people related to some of the songs on like a really deep level, kind of, and just the fact that existed at all was for me the inspiration to keep going with that and try to lean in more into as much into the mental health advocacy as possible, because I was like, well, there really was in 2015 a void in terms of pop music and pop culture and discussions about bullying prevention and mental health. And I think being able to work with other celebrities and other artists and some incredible people who are stakeholders in music who are also like, such as Jen, who are championing that message as well, has been a big priority of mine for that reason.
That is amazing to hear.
Thank you.
So my next question is for Jennifer. So when it comes to the media's role in digital citizenship, given your work at the intersection of art, technology, and culture, how do you think the media industry can encourage responsible digital citizenship while also continuing to foster creativity?
Let's see. I think that you don't want to silence anybody, right? I mean, we don't, like, my lady's over there talking about X, right? So that's like, I'm going to be a little controversial. I mean, obviously, we all believe in free speech, and that's the media, right? So platforms, social platforms, digital platforms have become the media. Nobody here when was the last time anyone here has read a magazine? Do you even know what magazines are? You do? Okay. And that's how I started out at a magazine. At 17 magazine, actually. So that was my first job. So I think that, you know, X is, I don't want to get too controversial or too political, but we're not really digging what's happening with that right now. At the same time, we don't want to silence folks, right? So I think there's a real fine line. I don't know if I'm gonna really go out on a limb, and I don't know if everyone saw what Kanye has been saying the last few days, which is disgusting. So I don't want to go too deep on that, but it's on X, and he's not being stopped. He's not being silenced. So at the same time, a lot of people are writing back to him on X, and they're talking about their opinions as well. So I think, you know, you have to find a fine line and a balance between letting people speak their truths. If the truths are really abhorrent, then letting people speak back to those truths. So I mean, I could go off on this, and I will not, but that's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Thank you for also mentioning, you know, round of applause. I appreciate that you also mentioned some of the more like happening now news, because I know that would help a lot of people connect. So thank you for that. So my last question is for Zoe, and it's regarding technology as a catalyst for change. So as a global tech leader, how does Google integrate CSRs into its core mission? And what policies does the company implement to ensure that its technology is used to push forward positive social impact?
Yeah, so I mentioned that we have worked with groups to co-design certain features. We have content policies on the products that I work for. So these are a set of rules that you have for what types of ads you can put out there in a campaign, what types of content can be featured in search features, like we have those knowledge panels that are on the side, what types of things can make it in a knowledge panel, what bar you set for other search features like autocomplete, making sure that those have appropriate content policies. These are all things that we could talk about, but I actually would like to maybe skip this question and just respond to Jennifer a little bit. One of the things that I think that is important for you all to know, who here has heard of the marketplace of ideas? Anyone? Marketplace of ideas. Okay, a couple of the parents. You got to ask your parents what the marketplace of ideas. Oh, okay, we have some over here. Who's heard of Supreme Court Justice Brandeis? Okay, great. The lawyers, luckily, yes, and some of you. Brandeis put forward an idea, which Jennifer was alluding to, which is called counter-speech doctrine. And you can essentially vote with your feet. So if you don't want to be on one platform, you can be on another platform. You can follow me on Blue Sky, Zoe Darmay @ there are lots of things that you can do. And so companies like mine know that. And so we want to build platforms that are inviting to people, that are places where you want to be. And if you don't want to be there, that is your choice. You are not locked in. So I think it's really important for you to think about how empowering it is for you to choose what platforms you engage on. That could be YouTube. That could be getting your information from Google search. That could be on other platforms, products, or services. And that's what's really great about a high-functioning marketplace of ideas.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to open up the floor to anyone in the audience that has any questions for this amazing panel of speakers. Okay. Starting off with Sammy.
Hi, it was great to hear from all of you. Jennifer, you mentioned something about opening up the nonprofit in the spring. Can you just tell me a little more about that and how, if students are involved, how that works?
Yeah, so it's Meredith and I are doing it we're partners, and it's called You Are Not Alone, Take Care. And we are going to use Meredith is graciously opening up her physical space where we're going to invite kids to come in and just talk to us about whatever you need help with. So whether it's mental health, whether you want mentoring in the music industry, I'll have a lot of folks like myself, my friends and colleagues, who'll be available to give mentoring lessons and advice and things like that. And Meredith, you want to talk about your
Sure, yeah. So I oversee a couple therapists that offer, we partnered with Fordham's counseling department for free counseling, as well for students. So in addition to the mentorship and professional development with executives from Sony Music, Columbia Records, et cetera, there's also going to be a component of free resources as far as mental health advocacy, therapy, and some of the schools we're going to be partnering with are in different areas and different boroughs of Manhattan to ensure that people who want resources and access to these resources can get it, free of cost and stuff like that. And there is, my intern, Ellie, who was here yesterday, printed out some things where we could sign or take pictures or whatever with that are here with just some more, I guess, information on it. And then, yeah.
Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so we do have time for one more question from the audience. Anyone has one? Oh, I saw a hand go up all the way back there first. So, we will start here then.
Thank you. My name is Alexander. I think we often have moments of weakness where my favorite book is from Simon Sinek about why. And I know we're talking about corporate responsibility. Do you guys ever struggle with that why question in your lives? Where it's why am I doing this? Am I actively making effective change? How do you deal with those struggles?
You guys want to take this one?
Yeah. So this is my third career. My first career was actually in justice system reform. Very easy why. Super easy why, right? It's so immediate why that was important at that part of my career. My second career was in UN peacekeeping. Again, very easy why. People are in need. They need help to be brought from conflicts to stability. When you enter a company, you have to ask yourself, does this accord with my personal values? And, I've always said that I'll stay at a company for as long as I feel that does. There is also a why, which is we want to have fulfilling careers. We also need to put our kids through college. Harvard Law, Rehan, was probably very expensive. So, I'm sure there were conversations from you and your parents about how do we make that happen, right? And so there are lots of things that go into why you work in a place that you do. I think that your own personal red lines need to be something that you need to interrogate for yourself. I have found quite happily that I've not really seen much of a deep conflict with the projects that I've been lucky to work on in the private sector. I also had a lot of why questions in the public sector. Why am I doing this if this feels so bureaucratic? Why am I doing this when I'm being not given the right mandate, from the Security Council to do what I really think needs to happen? So it's not just the why question that happens in the private sector. You have to ask yourself that in the public sector as well.
It's kind of funny because the question of why tends to be like one of the most like important like questions you can even ask yourself like internally, right? And I guess I'd even say just like from like an interpersonal perspective, like while I was at like Harvard Law School, right? I remember like this internal question of why it kept popping up. Because I went from being like a sanitation worker, and now all of a sudden like I'm at Harvard Law School. And it was just like a very different experience of like what that looked like on a daily basis. And then I remember the week before I started like Harvard Law School, like one of my friends like got killed in a parking lot, like in the shooting, right? And then even like while I'm there, some of the coworkers that like inspired me to be better, some of them lost their lives, some of them ended up like back in prison. And so, and it's interesting, right? Because I feel like I'm like living this like dual life. Like here's like my everyday, and I have to like attend class, and I have all these cool internships at like MLB, the NBA Players Association. But then there's like this like part of me that I would call like the home me, whereas like how do I just like balance these like two different realities, right? And I guess I'm also just saying in terms of that question, like why, right? I just like for everyone in the room, I think like that's like probably the most important question you should probably ask yourself, like on like some type of ongoing basis. And even like for me, right, like I had this like this feeling of why, right, just kind of always present. And again, I don't know if there's ever like one like solid right answer to almost anything that's like a social or personal belief, right? But I guess one thing I can say to that is like despite me like having my time at Harvard, and like instead of going to classes and doing my internships, one of the like most fulfilling things that I did was like just ask myself the question of like, what can I do while I'm like in this setting, right? Can I make interpersonal differences like with individuals? Can I create initiatives? Can I take this to a higher level? And like one thing that I did at Harvard was create this nonprofit called the Reciprocity Effect, which ended up like amplifying the voices and amplifying the visibility of the custodial workers at the at the university. And, for me, that was just like this very like meaningful thing. We actually ended up just like partnering with the Yankees like 7 months ago. And we got like 50 garbage men in New York City to have lunch with the players, right? And so I did that while being like a full-time attorney. I started this while being like a full-time student. So I guess like, just an interpersonal question for anyone, no matter where you're at, no matter like what stage of life you're in. It's like the question, it doesn't always have to be a nonprofit. It doesn't always have to be like this like grand thing. But there's always like this question of, well, what can I do on a daily basis to find more meaning within my everyday life? And I think that's something that we can make progress on every single day.
Let's give all of our panelists one more huge round of applause. So as we wrap this panel up, I do want to encourage all of you in the audience to come and network and talk with our amazing panelists and gain more insights from them, because as you heard, they have so much to share and you can get a lot of wisdom from them. So thank you all so much for listening to the panel. We will be heading to lunch shortly, but just keep in mind to network with them and just learn so many new things. Thank you. Thank you guys.
Oh, wait, guys, if we can just hang on a minute before going to lunch.
Yes, let's please remain seated and give one more big round of applause to our lovely panelists. I know that I learned a lot, and it was really educational to hear all of the things that they as industry experts had to say about it. Really quickly, I do want to make one brief correction about Kaleo. She has auditioned for American Idol, and you all can tune in on March 9th to see how she did. Just had to make that tiny correction. And then...
All right, and we do want to emphasize that we are so proud to show the impact that Digital4Good has across internationally with changemakers like Naomi that you saw, and a couple years ago we had representation from Asia at our summit, and so we're just so happy that we're able to do this, and it's because of you guys that we can make all of this happen. And so this is the end of our live stream. So we want to thank our virtual viewers for sticking with us through this journey. And
yeah, can we have our in-person viewers give a big round of applause to our virtual viewers, please? Thank you so much for tuning in. We really, really, really do appreciate it, because as we are talking about digital safety and digital wellness, it obviously makes sense that we do have a digital component to our live stream day. So we do really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your work days, your school days, to come join us.
Yes, and for our in-person audience, our program will continue after lunch. We have another performance and some really fun activities from Google. So in the meantime, for lunch, thank you so much to Google for organizing all that. And so we do have different companies. We have Google, Snapchat, TikTok, who have tables. And if you guys go and talk to them, you can get some really cool prizes. I don't know what they are, so I'm very excited to find out what
We're totally in the blue.
in store for us. So feel free to grab lunch. We're gonna if you won what game was it called?
It doesn't have a name. If you were one of those amazing people that have a really quick reaction time on stage, you guys are welcome to go get lunch first. And then once they head out into the lobby, we're gonna let our changemakers go ahead, and then I'm gonna excuse you guys section by section. So if you won the elbows, nose, clothes, toes game, you guys can go, feel free to eat some lunch, enjoy it. I'm not sure what's out there, but I'm sure that it's good. And then our changemakers, you guys are welcome to go out there. And our changemakers families as well. And then if this section right here, you guys can go ahead out there.
You remember the game that we played?
Yeah.
You that was on stage?
Yeah.
Wait, what did you get?
To go get lunch first.
And you can go be first in line at the activity table. So go find them out.
Roger, 0J, and I feel fine. Discovery Houston, press to ATO.
Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the